everybody.
All right, everybody, and we are live. We went live a little bit early. How's everybody doing out there? Let me do this real quick, and we'll get it going. The two parking lots here real quick. There we go.
Are we actually live?
Yeah, we are.
All
right, everybody, here we go.
K-Pro Cow Pow Wow. K-Pro Cow Pow Wow Wow. It's the K-Pro Cow Pow Wow Wow. They wanna find the treasure, they wanna find it now. They are K-Pro and they are cow. They're going over it and over it and over it again. This treasure hunt created by Forrest Fenn. Sing it! K-Pro Cow Pow Wow. K-Pro Cow Pow Wow Wow. It's the K-Pro Cow Pow Wow. Marion and Indy are what they're like, although their real names are Christy and Mike. Can they pin down the treasure? They just might. Tune in to find out Monday nights. K-Pro Cow Pow Wow. K-Pro Cow Pow Wow Wow. It's the K-Pro Cow Pow Wow.
Okay, welcome, everybody. It's Monday night. It's 6 p.m. Pacific. You know what that means. It's K-Pro Cow Powwow. All right.
What else could there be? Like Monday Night Football? I don't even know what else is going on in this world today.
There's no Monday Night Football because we're in the playoffs. Okay, so everybody, two parking lots is what we are talking about tonight. And then, of course, we may talk about mysterious writings, those questions as well, since that came out today. What?
AJ, did you have a show? I didn't get an announcement, and I was all hyped up about his new format of his show. So, I don't know. I was pretty disappointed. I hope all is well. I saw you in the room, though. So,
Larry Sandell, how are you? He says hello from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Is that where you're at? Cool.
Nice.
When I was on an aircraft carrier, we were parked off the coast of Florida and watched one of the shuttles go up. This would have been 92, 93, somewhere around there, whatever shuttle that was. So that was kind of cool. What's up, everybody? Czar, AJ Rainville, Glenna Freeman. How you doing, Glenna? Miss Lisa. Digital Treasure Maps. Sassy.
I played the game. I missed it. I hate YouTube. I don't like you. Your notifications suck.
Spirit of Adventure with Heather Feather. All right. Pensacola, Florida. All right. Who else we got in the room tonight?
I got to see a shuttle take off.
Did you? That's pretty cool.
I worked for an aerospace company. I worked in marketing, but they took me along. And I actually got to get closer than anybody else. It was like less than a mile. All the engineers got to go like to the command center. I wasn't like important enough, but I was important enough that like we were shaking.
Anno Domino sounds Latin. Jack, Richard McKeever, Steve W, Anagram. If I missed anybody, I'll apologize. Davio's in the house. Sea Dog, how you doing, Sea Dog? Steve W, CMC, Godelkin, how are you? Jayla, Ron, Rigo, Rob G, Gallatin Ghost. All right, yeah, we got everybody's here. It's Monday night. You guys know where to be, where we can talk
what
about.
What else is there to do?
Forrest
and some stuff happened today. We need to talk about it, and so we went on a minute and a half early because we have we got the scoop. No, there's no scoop, but we have opinions.
Opinions, yeah, especially with the off season. But we're going to talk about the two parking lots. Arizona, Denver. I know somebody on one of the Facebook groups was like, there's the Denver. What's the other one? A lot of people forget about the Arizona quote. Do you remember where that was originally from? From Douglas Preston? Wasn't it a newspaper article or something where he mentioned the Arizona parking lot?
I thought he said it at a book signing. I have no idea. But
it's been out there. It's been out there.
Yeah, and I didn't know when Mike put up the clip, and then all of a sudden my messenger and my emails start going off like, this is what I think about this, and I guess, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized the clip up, and so I was like, oh, okay. So we have that to talk about. Yeah. And somebody razzed me a little bit, and I think it was in Davio's chat. We haven't seen anything from Douglas Preston. Well, tonight that's going to change, my friends. And you have seen something from Douglas Preston when he said, you got something here that nobody else has gotten. And I won't say what it is.
You got to decide which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have seen some stuff from Douglas, but today will be the time. And I should tee this up a little since we have a couple more minutes. We'll play it right at probably the 10-minute mark, just about there. This clip, the one thing that I try to do, and we try to do when we clip these, is you don't get something midstream. So you get the beginning of me asking the question, and then you get the end. Well, here's what happened during this clip. Forrest was interviewed first. Right? Forrest was, Douglas was interviewed first.
It was a trick question, huh? Douglas was interviewed first, then Forrest, then we did both of them together.
Right. Yeah. And so I asked Forrest the question about the 2 parking lots, and he basically punted it to Douglas. And then so when Douglas and Forrest were together afterwards, I went back to the question and kind of called them on the hot potato. I did it nice, but I did.
Hot potato.
It was as hard hitting as I got. And then they answered the question kind of together. They went back and forth. So we're actually going to take 2 different clips, but for you to see the whole piece, because Forrest says something like, I heard what you asked.
Yeah, they'll get it. So we're going to play both together for you.
Yeah, but
for you guys, just for tonight. Don't tell anybody.
You will think you're getting 2 different clips or 2 clips. You're actually getting 1 clip because you needed one to understand the other. And we don't want to fall short of your expectations, because 93% of you are very excited about these clips. You're thankful for these clips. And 7% of you need to go play Canasta. And you don't need to go on Reddit. And that person deleted their thing because it did get so ugly. So I appreciate that. But the 93% of you, we thank you for enjoying our clips. The others,
we thank everybody that watches. It was a Gallatin Ghost. Somebody said, thank you for giving us something to look forward to on Monday nights. Yeah, so one way you guys can say thank you if you really want to is to hit thumbs up on this video and all of our videos. Another way you can do it is through Super Chat, which is on because the Hint of Riches channel is awesome and is allowed to do that. And another way is you can just email me or K-Pro and say, hey, thanks for the videos. We get those emails from time to time. If people are like, that's cool. You didn't have to put any of this interview out if you didn't want to, but you are, so thanks.
We do get probably a lot more negative than positive. So if you had a nice little message,
say that again.
Wouldn't hurt. I get a lot more negative than positive.
About the interviews?
About in general.
Negative. Oh, really? That's a surprise. I thought you would have got more positive.
Oh, I get
a lot of negative
whatever
emails.
I'm wearing to whatever, and they're mostly anonymous because they're not real men; they're little boys.
Right.
But yeah, what I'm wearing, what I've said that day. Somebody said I was coughing. I shouldn't have been on that day. What are you doing? You're ridiculous. You're embarrassing. It's like, go turn it off then.
But they still watch. Isn't that funny?
Exactly.
Lori James.
Even hit Forrest up because he gets some negative ones about us every now and then.
Was it Lori James? I think it was Lori James says, how is D-Pro? Who said that? That was back there somewhere.
Well, Mike asked me that just before we went on.
Yeah.
D-Pro slept a ton this weekend, and he wanted to sit around and watch TV, which he never likes to sit around and watch TV. Today was his first day back in school. So he did really well, except for we had a painful homework time because, his first day back. He's cranky. He's all that. Yeah. But sick-wise, he's over it. But today was first day back, and he asked me, when officially is spring break?
Already, April.
You got a long time, my friend.
And Easter Bunny.
Okay. Wow. K-Pro. Okay, you guys are all nice. You guys are the nice ones. I love it.
Oh, there we go. Redneck Express just posted it. In 2012, the Tony Dupical article, Dupical, I think. So when Forrest puts his body next to the treasure and dies, he's afraid that people will find his car, and the location of the car would be the Northern Arizona University. Now, I thought that came from Douglas Preston, but maybe it was in this article as well. So, and we might just be able to shed a little light on that tonight. Yeah.
It probably came from Douglas in that article.
Gotcha.
It was probably an interview of him. So we're going to play the clip. Those of you that don't know, I'm sure you know by now, there is 4 questions. I think it's the annual update rather than the Feb 4 6 questions. It was the 1 6 4 questions. 4 6. See what he did there. We're going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about World Series of Fenn, the marathon. We're not going to have a show Thursday. We will talk about the marathon. We will put it up. We're excited about it. I think we have 16 or 17 guests, and half of them are brand new. So be nice, y'all. You can be mean to me and mean to Mike, even though we don't like that, but not to our newbies.
Fly by. Billy Price is in the house. He says, do you use a green screen or camera effects for the background. This is green screen for both of us.
This is not a real man.
Yeah.
This
Somebody
is
looking
my
over your shoulder there? Do you feel like you're being watched, K-Pro?
He's
and
my protector.
this is Copper Dan's awesome frame. And I don't remember who won it, but this is the one he gave away, wasn't it? Yeah, so I have a picture of it. So there it is. With, of course, the Too Far to Walk map. All right, are we ready to show this quote yet?
No,
not yet.
Small
Okay.
little announcement. And then we have fixed the telephone line, so we're going to take
No
some
show
calls.
Thursday, Tony. We're going to get ready for the marathon, which is 12 hours of content for all of you on Saturday. So no show Thursday.
Yeah, and all I will say is there is going to be a surprise.
Uh-oh. I don't think I even know about the surprise. No. And I talked K-Pro into 3 or 4 new Forrest Fenn clips. So.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to.
Was it? I said 3 or 4.
I tell you nothing. This is why I'm not telling you surprises. We might have 1 or 2 clips is what everybody needs to know. And if there's more, there's more.
Or 3 or 4. My vision tells me there could be 3 or 4. All right, go ahead.
You're in trouble.
Well, I don't know for sure. We haven't even set it up yet. So I just said maybe because I don't know for sure what we're going to show. Ron Rigo says, I love surprises.
Okay, whatever. You're a stinker. Oh, you know what? I had a huge breakthrough today on my solve.
Really?
And I'm not telling you because you would just loud.
Is it in New Mexico?
All over. No,
oh.
I am 100% in Wyoming, baby. Today, and somebody's in chat. You know who you are. It's on. It's on.
Well, we'll talk when we get offline.
Oh, no, we won't, because you'll just blurt it out right in the middle of chat one
William
day.
says slip lip code breaker instead of Charlie code breaker. Loose lips sink ships. Are you the weak link in the chain of command? That was a 3D Bronze got an update. I just took a few items off the homepage, but are still available. Some items are on back order, print on demand, but take 40 hours to print some items alone. So if anybody's interested in 3D Bronze and his awesome treasure chest, look at that. Email 3dbronze.com is the website. He could probably personalize this for you guys. So little plug for 3D Bronze. Thanks for the stuff you sent.
At least only 2 states away. Okay, you guys don't know, and what was Sturmworm says Wyoming is nice for second place solves. Okay, you got. Hey, where's your treasure chest, guys? Like Toby says, we are not wrong. You haven't proven us wrong, so it could be you wrong unless you've heard it from Forrest. Neener, Billy, go.
And Christy says to digital treasure maps, the final clue, he said, would be where they found his car in the parking lot of the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Some may even call that the 10th clue. Wasn't that in the forward of Once Upon a While?
Yes.
The 10th clue. Interesting.
Michael, it is 11 after.
Are we ready?
Need a clip.
Are we ready, everybody?
Hey, guys, this is a little long, so be ready, and we'll play it again at the end.
Okay, yeah, we will play it again. Everybody thumbs up for new video clips on Mondays, and here we go.
And for Cowlazars being awesome.
And K-Pro. All right, here we go, everybody. Then we can talk about it, and yes, we're going to take phone calls at the end.
Thank you, 3D Bronze. He just super chat. Cha-ching!
Hey, thanks, 3D Bronze. Thank you very much. Here we go. Everybody listen up.
Okay, so now you've had in the forward of Once Upon a While. And
wait, I didn't share the screen so K-Pro can see it. Give me a second, everybody. Can't have that. We can't watch it if K-Pro can't see it, right? So let's do it like this.
No.
That way we can all see it. All right, here we go.
Okay, so now you've had in the forward of Once Upon a While and famously quoted another time with 2 different locations of this famous parking lot, what we call the 10th clue. So what is it about the Northern Arizona University parking lot and the Denver Museum of Natural Sciences parking lot? What's similar between them that we should be looking at, or searchers should be looking at to discover the 10th clue?
Well, this is a mystery because you're going to have to ask Forrest this one. Now, it might be my faulty memory. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that 25 years ago, Forrest told me that they were going to find his car in the parking lot of the Museum of Northern Arizona. I think he told me that. Now, I mentioned that a couple of times, and then Forrest very much more recently said to me, no, that's wrong. The car would have been in the parking lot of the Denver Museum of Natural History. Okay, so you're going to have to ask him about that. I don't know. I may be misremembering or whatever, so.
The question that Douglas deferred to you, so I will ask you together. Once Upon a While references a parking lot, but there has been 2 references to Northern Arizona University and then the Denver Museum. What is similar about those 2 museums that we should be focusing
I heard
on?
what Doug said a while ago, and I remember in the very beginning, I made a comment about the parking lot, I think at the Museum of Northern Arizona in Flagstaff, but I don't remember in what context. And looking back on it now, it certainly isn't prevalent.
So is it the 10th clue?
Is it what?
It has been heard to be said it is the 10th clue.
Well, I'm not going to talk about clues, but I'll say that the parking lot in Arizona is not relevant to the chase. That should answer your question.
Okay. Is the one in Denver?
That's Doug. He's the one that said it.
All right.
Okay, so now you
Ask Doug. He's the one who said it. So the Arizona parking lot, what did he say? The Arizona parking lot is not relevant to the thrill of the chase.
relevant. So, and yes,
So that's, at least he clarified it finally.
So to me, this clarifies only one thing.
Yeah.
That Northern Arizona is out. But that doesn't mean that Denver Museum
He wouldn't
is
answer.
out.
You said, is that the 10th clue? And he said, ask Doug. Well, we probably
Ask
should have
Doug.
asked Doug. We probably said, what do you say, Doug? But Doug probably would have deferred again.
Oh, I think they already had that one prepped. They knew I was going for that one.
Yeah.
So.
Super chat
Yeah,
from
what
Craig
could
Carter. Thanks, brother.
Oh,
we
hey.
appreciate it.
Oh, and
It keeps
that's a
this train
sticker.
rolling. What's that?
There's a sticker.
Oh, and the sticker. Cool. Yeah, the sticker is something new for YouTube is doing. You can actually super chat a sticker. But as you guys notice, we have our audio issues worked out, and it's super chats that help us buy the equipment we need and do the stuff we do. So thank you. We do appreciate it. So I like that clip because it does rule out the Arizona University. So anybody out there, if that was part of your solve or you thought you figured something out because of the 2 parking lots, I think you got to discount it. I think that's, as treasure hunters, we have to be able to readjust and rethink and, don't get set in one solve.
But we can't discount both of them, I don't think.
Just the one. Just the one. Yeah,
That's
Denver
how I
Museum's
took
still
that
in
clip.
play. I mean, Douglas put it in the forward to Once Upon a While. So if that was not a correct statement, I don't think Forrest ever would have allowed him to put that in the book. So Forrest, and I think Forrest would have clarified in this clip when we talked to him to say, yeah, no, there's nothing at the Denver Museum either. But he what he did is he deferred it. He said, why don't you ask Doug, which was funny. You ask him. He's the one who said it. And he's right. Douglas said it in the forward to Once Upon a While. So you guys can make that of what you want. Sassy. Nice.
Sassy. Oh, I've always paid for nothing. I actually used a term today on something else about nothing burgers.
Right.
Nothing burgers.
Thanks, Sassy.
So I think it's as good as some other things that have come out, but not every one of these quotes are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's like hard hitting. But did Forrest roll out Arizona and Utah after the NAU comment?
2011, the Tony Dupico article, is that what it said? Somebody put the year when that article came out, and then
That
we'd
was
have to look up
2012.
and then when did Idaho and Utah get ruled out? I'm not sure. We'd have to look that up. So I don't want to guess if I'm wrong.
I don't guess either.
But I will say, where was it? Always pay for my nothing. What if? So let's just think. What if? Let's play What If, everybody. It's a new segment on the K-Pro Cow Show. What if the treasure is in Colorado? If that's the case, and it's a big if, but if that's the case, would that be a huge clue that Forrest actually mentioned I'd park my car at the Denver Museum? Now, he's still got to travel to the location with the chest and the gold in a backpack, I'm presuming. I mean, how else do you carry it if not a backpack? He would have taken some other mode of transportation to the actual spot. So, in other words, did he pick the Denver Museum? Does that mean anything to anybody? True believer.
Before you answer that, true believer.
Thank you.
Do you want to go? Do you want to read it?
It doesn't make sense that he would drive his car to Denver and then travel back to New Mexico. Has anyone ever asked Forrest if he is the subject of the poem? I don't know if anybody's ever asked Forrest, but I don't know if he would answer. But that's a good question. In other words, if Forrest made the statement, and we're trusting that Douglas Preston is not making things up, if Forrest said the final clue would be my car at the Denver Museum, why would he drive to the Denver Museum if it's in New Mexico? I mean, that makes sense, right? Now remember, this is when he was going to go die with the treasure chest. This is not after he got cured of cancer, he's going to go hide it. This is back, they said, 25 years ago. This is 25 years ago when this was all still an idea in Forrest's head, but he talked to Douglas about it because he wanted Douglas to write the book originally. So back then, in Forrest's mind was, I'm not going to let this cancer get me. I'm going to go out and I'm going to die with the treasure chest. I will park my car at the Denver Museum.
Miss Lisa, the other 2 states were ruled out in 2013, so it was a year after.
So we just answered it. So the Denver Museum comment was made in 2012 in that article, as far as we know, and then he ruled the 2 states out in 2000. Now I wonder why the person asked that question. Are those 2 things linked somehow?
Well, here's one thing that I have spent a lot of time on, and even though I wouldn't say nothing burger, it's just not a huge burger with lots of things on it. I will say
it's like a White Castle.
I took the, oh my God, those are not burgers. I took the 2 museums and I did a lot of comparisons. I did comparisons in zip codes, addresses, displays. There was probably 50 or 60 different things that I did comparisons on. This now tells me, if we believe it exactly what he said, that is something that I could say I no longer would need to do. I could even throw out my notes on that. I don't know where my notes are, but that to me, that for anybody who's done comparisons of those 2 museums or spent a lot of time in the Arizona Museum, there was a bust or some donation that was made. I think it was made to the Northern Arizona University. Sasha found it, and it was like the bronze bust. We don't need to worry about that. Huh?
From Forrest?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He donated
I didn't
it.
know
She
that.
did a video on it. Oh, gosh, really one of her first videos. It might not even have been on her channel. It might have been on Sean's Flip channel. I don't remember. Sassy agrees with you. You and Sassy can go and eat gross burgers from whatever that was, but no. So
I like White Castle. I haven't been there in a long time, but
mine took me. I've gone there once. It was not a good experience.
so Craig Carter, I think you know better. Craig Carter says, when did he confirm it's in New Mexico? He's never confirmed it's in New Mexico. So we're not saying he ever confirmed it's in New Mexico.
No, let's play. During the interview, when he said Arizona or New Mexico is being overlooked, and then we got the 4 questions tonight, which is basically saying everyone. 3 states were ruled out today.
And
we blame the interview. And
we blame Cynthia for that because she switched up the Yellowstone, right?
I have already put on Facebook who I think he was talking to in that first question, and it was Cynthia. It's obvious it was Cynthia, and I texted her that, and she's like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm like, "Come on, it has to be you."
So let's think this through real quick. Forrest is going to go die with the treasure chest. He doesn't want anybody to be able to check his car, the rental car. He doesn't. He wants you to solve the poem to find it. And he said, I don't want to say what year I hit it because I don't want people to check rental car receipts. So what does he do with his car? I mean, it's a valid question. So for whatever reason, his idea was to leave it in the Denver Museum parking lot. And that would be the 10th clue. I don't know if he meant 10th clue as in this helps you find the treasure, like the 9 clues of the poem. I think he would just mean it's another clue on, hey, here's a car. He parked here. Now, where did he go? He could have still went all the way up to Yellowstone from there, right?
I'm going to question your question.
Okay.
Has Forrest ever said that was the 10th clue? Douglas has said
No, Douglas said that. I would, you know what? I don't know if he said that Forrest said that.
No, and I don't care if he said that said that she said
Forrest has never actually said it. That's correct.
Has there ever been an interview or where we've actually seen it come out of his mouth where he says 10th clue?
I don't believe so. Even in our interview, he said, ask Douglas. He's the one who said it, right? So I wonder if it's kind of like Forrest is kind of like, yeah, you weren't supposed to actually talk about that. But he put it in his book.
About that until I pass away and you take over the chase, and then that will be the new thing that's given out.
Nice.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did. So what do you guys think? I mean, at least, if anything, it's a little more information. We're 10 years in. We're in the 10-year anniversary, and we now can rule out the Arizona parking lot straight from Forrest, saying it's not going to help you with the thrill of the chase. So the Denver Museum is right next to the Denver Airport, Sassafras says, and the Denver Airport is the jumping-off point to anywhere else in the Rockies. Interesting.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back for a second. Sledneck is saying yes to something. Welcome, Sledneck. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Glad to see you. Yes, the Today Show. Are you saying yes to the Today Show that he said 10th clue? Or are you talking, the chat's going by. Yeah. Maybe he's saying yes to somebody else.
I don't remember him ever mentioning the Denver parking lot on the Today Show, but hey, I could be wrong. I think he said the
Does
final clue. Craig Carter saying he thinks he said the final clue, not 10th clue, but that would be
Yeah,
the
that's
10th.
it. Final and 10th are different in my mind. They can be interpreted
Okay.
differently. Okay, I am Super Sam says, does the fact he was going to park in Denver mean it rules out Colorado?
Oh, so you're going the other way. He parks where it's not. That's interesting.
That
He
means
parks
it
there
means
just to
nothing.
come back to New Mexico. That would
No,
just to come
that
back to
means it
Taos
means
Mountain
nothing.
because we know that's where it is.
Yeah, that
10
means it means
years, it
nothing.
must be more complex than we think. I would agree, Davio. And all right, I won't mention what we're going to play on the marathon. I was going to say something, but I just won't even bring it up.
Okay, and then wait. Somebody said Sledneck answered again. Today's show 10th clue, not the parking lot. I didn't,
okay.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I
wanna
play
go
it,
back
but I
and
don't know if
look.
I'm allowed to with copyright, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
play it.
no.
Okay, so I guess
And
that
to
was
that
a clue.
person
All right.
To the one person that asked me to play a song, I've actually contacted the songwriter. And so if I get permission, I will play that song for you. I'm trying, but I'm still thinking about you.
Czar is in the house, and he says Taos. I think he likes Taos. We should have went there.
He's a New Mexico
I've never been to
guy.
Taos. Yeah.
I am trying to let the poem and all these crazy quotes lead the way. Oh, and Wyoming. I'm just saying Wyoming. And Mike, you gotta. I'm leading you to Wyoming, my friend. We could still go to Montana.
Thermopolis. Isn't that the biggest hot spring in the Rockies or something? I remember back before I knew a lot of everybody, I researched Thermopolis, Meeteetse, that whole area. The Medicine Wheel, Cody. That's all in Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
The rifle.
Try the wheel. Why
the
you're
Wood
not in
River.
Wyoming?
The Wood River is there. I know a lot of people. They're popular search areas. That doesn't mean it's not there. It's just everybody overlooks something. That's all. Oh, was it in Jenny's? Wait, read some more. I want to see.
Okay, so here's the first thing I would like to ask everybody. Is there anything else, and put at KPro so I can see it, like Laura Smith just did, why is it that I must go? I don't know what well, I don't know. It was too broad of a question. Let's put this baby to bed. New clip. We're happy about it. Oh, wait, Alan K. Thank you for the super chat, Alan K.
Thanks, Alan.
My vision tells me, quote, tells me that it is only a matter of time until someone tries to Okay, I was just going to say, we're going to move on to Jenny's 4 questions. But I want to see if anybody has anything else on this clip, because we already had this one teed up. We didn't want to not give you a clip.
We'll play it again at the end,
would
everybody.
have killed us. But we want to transition to Jenny's questions because I think we have thoughts on those. Hold on. Rodney Greenway said, I'm scrolling back trying to find the Overlooking New Mexico and practically ruled out 3 states thing that KPro said, but can't find it. Was it in the video? I got here late. Okay. Let me explain, Rodney. Very poor timing of when you came in. Somebody, I think it was Craig Carter, someone asked, did Forrest rule out 3 states? Mike answered honestly and said no. And I joked and said, of course, because he said in a previous clip, you guys are overlooking New Mexico, which actually he makes a reference to again in the 4 questions with Jenny. And so some have said that means it's absolutely in New Mexico. And so all the other states are, if you're in New Mexico, that confirms it more. Called confirmation bias. I don't know what it does. It is not, it was leading me back to look again in New Mexico. I think Cynthia thought about it for a hot second. But no, we're all back to exactly where we were. Okay, Sledneck said, why must I go is a job Muir quote. There is the answer. Oh,
What's
John
that?
Muir. Isn't that a musician? John Muir? I don't know who that
you're
is.
thinking of John Mayer, I think. I don't know who John
The one
Mayer
that dated Jessica Simpson?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's John Muir. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Now I'm going to have to look
How
it
does
up.
that relate to, I don't know.
I don't know. Sledneck was saying it, and I asked him some questions earlier, so he is being very respectful and answering me.
Okay.
Tom Sawyer said, why do you switch clips? I was excited about I got lucky quote.
Lucky quote.
Switch clips. Well, there was one clip. It was the content. So we were talking about the parking lot. We had a whole bunch of other content, and we talked about the parking lot again. So we took those 2 clips, and we put a little pause of a black screen in between, but we wanted you to have reference to both of those because they referenced each other. That is why. Forrest said a lot without saying it out loud in Jenny's answers. Okay, obviously there's some of you that are ready to go to Jenny's answers. Why the contradiction? You just said he eliminated 3 states, so it's in New Mexico. Oh my God, I'm never joking around. Dirk, I am sorry. Everyone, that was I literally said, I am joking.
People are being swayed by well, luckily he wasn't talking about us with blogs, because we're not a blog, we're a vlog video. So he's obviously was talking about a website. So
no, he was talking about a blog. What is the most famous blog of someone that was in New Mexico and then moved up north, and now everybody's moving up north?
Cynthia.
There's no question.
This is what I found, and this is not from today's Mysterious Writings questions, but it's a previous one. And I don't have the year. Maybe you guys are familiar with it, but I just caught this. For some reason, I came across this today. This is Jenny asking him a question. Last month, you indicated that still nobody has correctly solved beyond the first 2 clues. Actually, or this could be a question that somebody sent.
Are we jumping to this?
Yeah. What?
Okay, the clips are done. We're moving. Okay, so.
Well, we can talk about whatever. I just wanted to put this out there because I thought I'd never heard it said before.
Let's just be chaotic. Let's not do it systematically.
Last month, you indicated that still nobody has correctly solved beyond the first 2 clues. Is this correct? Still nobody has solved beyond the first 2 clues. Oh, posted on Dale's site 2/27/2017, but the interview was from May 2015. So somebody's saying nobody solved beyond the first 2 clues. And this is Forrest's answer. Very few people tell me exactly where they are searching, so there is no way for me to know. Some searchers have been within 200 feet. Some searchers, plural, have been within 200 feet. I never caught the plural part before. So for some reason I came across this today. I don't know what I was looking at. Some searchers, plural, have been within 200 feet. We know there was a 200-footer, but in this thing from 2015, Forrest says some searchers, plural, have been within 200 feet. I just thought it was interesting that I didn't put that together before. That's all.
Okay, so I'm going to take a step back and say, for those of you that don't know, this, I believe, is the annual update. So rather than on Feb 4, it was on 1/6 that he did 4 questions rather than 6. So there is he answered 4 questions. The first one Mike just read. So.
No, that was an old one. What I just read is an old one, not from today. That's what I was saying. This is an old one, not from today. I'll read it if you want me to read today's. But it's kind of long.
Yeah, we need to read today's. We need to talk about today's. Okay.
4 questions for the 6.
Secret information, K-Pro secret information from the interviews that confirms it's in Montana. I'm sorry, New Mexico. He says New Mexico. I said Montana. I was kidding. Everyone, he has not ruled out 3 states. If some people have interpreted the quote from him to say, you're overlooking, I don't know why people are overlooking New Mexico. Some people that have New Mexico theories and solves have said, see, that rules out 3 states. I don't think that. I was using a little bit of sarcasm. I apologize. I cannot do that. I need to be very literal because there's different ways people interpret. We have 283 people in here and everyone's interpreting my words differently.
Well, he answers it the same way with Jenny's first question. Jenny's question is, a new era has begun and 2019 has come to an end. Can you give us searchers an update on how you feel the chase went this past year? Has the treasure chest heard the clomp of searchers closer than 200 feet? Do you feel the Rockies are enjoying the flurry of activity caused by the chase? And Forrest answers, many searchers are being unduly influenced by the blogs when several people voice the opinion that the treasure is hidden in a certain state. There is a flurry of searchers that head for that state. New Mexico used to be the favorite search area, but in 2019, that popularity on the blog switched to the northern states. So in our interview, when he says New Mexico is being overlooked, I think this is what he's referring to as well. I think this is what he meant. A lot of people are going up north because, of course, we did the function in the junction. So, of course, the overwhelming majority of people who are looking for the Fenn treasure don't read the blogs. So my opinion is drawn.
Who was at function in the junction?
Everybody. Well, some
Cynthia.
people. Cynthia was there. That's right. Yeah. So my opinion is drawn from a very small percentage of searchers. I think the Rockies are happy to see so many first-time visitors. I went to Yellowstone. I'm a first-time visitor. But, yeah, that's what I think he's saying is when he said a lot of searchers are overlooking New Mexico, I think he meant in the past year that Cynthia went up there. Me and you were up there searching. I was up there for the first time. You know, other people have talked about Yellowstone. That's all.
Wait.
What?
My first search area was up north.
Right.
I took a break and went down to New Mexico for a hot second with somebody else to solve. But I am a northern, tried and true. I've tried to make it work. What did he say? My heart is in the Yellowstone area.
In the summer.
Something.
And then my heart's in Yellowstone in the summers. And everybody went, whoa, wait a minute. And then he said, and it's in New Mexico in the winter. Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you say, my favorite child is this one. And then everybody goes, oh, and then you have to say, oh, yeah, I also have another one. Yeah. No, he said who his favorite child was.
So if it is up by Yellowstone, he parks his car at the Denver Museum and flies up there? This is back in 2000.
I don't think Denver Museum is that literal. I do not believe it is
What?
because he literally was going to the Denver Museum. I think there's something. Davio, I think, was out in front of the Denver Museum, and there's some busts there of big grizzly bears and this and that. I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. I'm just saying I don't think you actually literally go to Denver Museum and that is where you start your search.
I'm not saying start there. I'm just saying he was going to. He was planning. He was thinking of doing that. He didn't actually do it. His car's not
So
there,
here's
but
my
he thought
question.
of it.
Are you saying from this information
Mm-hmm.
that you believe that you have to make a stop at the Denver Museum?
No, of course not.
Okay, then
I
why
wouldn't-
are we talking about this?
No, the question was if he did park there, how was he going to get up to Yellowstone where the treasure is? Covert One says all the cool kids were at the function. That's true. And some of the really cool kids even got a tied fly by Forrest Fenn.
And the really cool kids went to Ocaliente and dipped their toe in it, and all the girls were in,
Some of us
and one
didn't.
guy, and you weren't one of those guys, and Covert, you weren't one of those. All the guys were sissies sitting out there, and they let the girls jump in the water and find some warm water.
True Believer was there.
True Believer was there, but True Believer did not jump in. It was that other guy.
Shout out to Mark. We got this in the mail, but he said open it on the marathon. So we're going to
Oh, and
open
I
it
have
on the
another
marathon.
package, too, but
Okay. Open them on the marathon.
Oh, but it's probably for Depot. We'll see.
Galton
I
says
hear you,
rental
Paper.
car.
Why talk about this if it's quarter from this? It is a quarter from DP.
Douglas
Okay.
Preston. Oh, what? Do it's
Douglas
DP?
Preston,
I don't know.
Denver parking lot. I don't know.
Evelyn
Okay.
Curie says, could someone give me a heads up where these 4 questions are posted? It's a little tiny website you might have heard of called Mysterious Writings. It's right on the homepage. You go to mysteriouswritings.com. Yeah, it just came out today. So that's
Yeah.
what we're here, is to give you guys information. So go to mysteriouswritings.com, go down, and you'll see it right there. It's called the 4 on the 6th, something like that. 4 questions on the 6th of January.
I'm going to
What?
call Sassafras out here.
Uh-oh.
Let's go
Calling
back just
you
for
out.
a second. I'm calling you out. He wanted to take a guess, and he sent me what his guess was, which is basically the parking lots are not needed. That's what he said. And he's like, just wait till tonight, and I'm going to be right. Now he's saying, yeah, I totally called it because that's what Forrest said in the clip. That's not what
That's
Forrest
not
said in
what
the
Forrest
clip.
said.
Forrest said you don't need to worry about Arizona. He didn't say don't worry about the Denver
Let's
parking lot.
play it again. You want to?
No, I want to
No.
focus on the 4 questions, then we can go
Oh,
back to different
all right.
questions. And anagram, no, stop saying that. People are going to read that and they're going to think it's true. He did not rule out 3 states. He did not rule
Don't spread
out,
that rumor. Not from us, anyway.
No,
So a
this
couple
guy didn't
people have said they don't like the questions that were answered. They're like a whole year, and that's what Jenny asked. I believe
nothing burger.
that Jenny sends a whole bunch of questions, and Forrest decides what he answers. But I'm assuming that it's
So
not like
here's
she
what
only
we
sent
have.
those 4 questions.
So I have a little tiny bit of experience with this. Forrest did a series called Fenn Clarifies on Thor for the first couple of months. We were trying to get going, and he was really helping us out. So he was giving us words. And I would send him, I want to say 10 questions. And he would pick 1 or 2, and he would answer them. And he would answer them the way he wanted. And then people would say to me, because we actually had a thread going, and it had like 80 or 90 or 100 questions on it. They said, why did you send him those 2? And I would say, I didn't.
Right.
I sent him like 10. And if I
Yeah.
sent him 1 or 2, he would say to me, I don't like those. Keep trying. So I would go back and say, okay, here's 10 to choose from. And he picked the ones that, I hate to say, are nothing burgers.
Yeah,
I don't think he's
that's what
put
he's
out
gonna do.
anything that is groundbreaking, like rule out of state in years. We have enough. He has said we have enough. So I do not believe this is Jenny. I believe this is Forrest. Pick the ones he wanted. I think I think the first one, and you read the first one, right? About clarifying New Mexico?
The first
Overlooking.
question,
Yeah. Didn't you read that?
it has nothing to do with New Mexico. It was, can you give us an update on how you feel the chase went? Has anybody been closer than 200 feet? That's all. And basically,
Yeah, and he didn't
that's what he
answer.
says. Searcher, yeah, he didn't answer the 200 feet. He just said searchers
Right.
are being unduly influenced by the blogs. Gregory Colvin Garcia has got a good point. He says, K-Pro, the museum can provide some insight or a hint toward the correct interpretation of the clues. So for those of you that have been to the Denver Museum of science, nature and science. Is there anything in there about warm waters? I mean, if there's an exhibit that says these are the warm waters, I would definitely look at it personally.
Oh, here's a little known fact.
Because it could be something that helps you with the clues. Yeah. What?
Do you know who manages, like, the head kahuna? I don't know what they call him. The curator, the whoever?
No.
It's one of his daughter's husband's father.
One of Forrest's daughter's husbands. So his, I don't know that. Yeah, really? I didn't know that. Well, then maybe. Well, then that's why he's going to drive the car back to Peggy. That's exactly why he's going to park there. Oh wait, back then in 2000, whenever that he probably didn't work there, but okay.
Family. It could be. Oh no, he's been there for. I mean, that's a spot you take for your life.
Oh, well, then maybe that's actually the simple explanation. Somebody in his family, extended family, works there that would be like, here, I'll get the car back.
Doesn't work there. Runs the whole place.
Well, okay. But is there?
No, but like that's a big deal. It's not like he's the fry cook. He's like somebody that can like
the fry cook.
Important.
He's sweeping up the dinosaur shavings at the end of the night.
Well, no, what I'm saying is he could have influence on certain displays.
Oh, I got you.
Remains a certain place.
Now we got to interview this guy. Great. Okay.
Some people may have talked to different people and gone down rabbit holes in the past. Is all I have to say. Okay. Question number 1. Forrest didn't answer 200 foot. Maybe I'm hearing that wrong. No, I don't think he answered it.
Read that again. What was it?
That was from William. Question number 1. Forrest didn't answer the 200 foot, or maybe I'm hearing.
He did not answer it.
No,
that's why. I think that's why I came across the 200 foot searchers plural from years ago because I was looking for it or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is a great point from Okie Chest Chaser. If you're supposed to follow the clues in order, you go from Denver Museum after you have found clue 9. If Denver is the 10th clue. That is a great point, and that is why Forrest did not say it's the 10th clue, in my opinion.
But he did say it's the final clue. On the Today Show, people are saying that he said it was the final clue.
I need to see it before. If he does, okay. But he also talks about clues in TTOTC, and now he says there's hints in TTOTC. So I think he's refined his definitions over time. 3D bronze. If Denver parking lot is clue 10 and we're supposed to follow the clues in order, then we don't have to worry about Denver parking lot until after we have found the treasure. That's a great point too.
Well, Must Listen Good says the Denver Museum clue is not about warm waters. It's about the last clue. And yes, I recommend going there in order to get the point. There is something there. That's kind of interesting. Especially if Forrest did say that on the Today Show, that the Denver, where you find my car will be parked at the Denver Museum, and that would be the final clue. That's interesting. So,
well,
I'd like
Ron
to take
Rego says, should I go to the Denver Museum and say that K-Pro and Davio said to?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. See,
sure.
That and $1.04 is going to get you a cup of coffee at Denny's. Yeah,
right. Okay, Okie says if you're supposed to follow the clues in order, you go to yes. You just okay. I'm sorry, I'm still catching up on. I'm way behind on chat.
Yeah,
you guys are rocking tonight. It's awesome. He ruled out a parking lot. Anagram, yes. He did not rule out a state. He did not rule out many states. He, in my opinion, from that quote, and some people are going to say no, but my opinion from that quote, that's exactly what he did. He ruled out the Arizona one.
Yeah, he said that. He said the Arizona parking lot is not relevant to the thrill of the chase. In other words, it's not going to help you, everybody. So we'll play the video quote with video clip again. You guys can make your own decision.
Yeah, no, we're on the 4 questions. We're still on the first one. Gregory Colvin Garcia says something that I think is actually really interesting. He has asked multiple times. He has been asked now multiple times as searchers have gotten closer to 200 feet, and in big bold letters says he is not answering. I think that summarizes it perfectly. He has been asked 6 different ways from sideways, including I'm sure 100 people that have emailed him personally, and he's not answering that one. Miss Lisa, and Miss Lisa's good. She went and got that other quote and stuff. He started to differentiate hints and clues in 2012. Okay, that's very interesting. That's good to know. That was before I was in the hut. Jake Martin, warm waters are known as tepid springs, an other form of hot springs that are not scalding hot.
Yeah, and somebody told me there are actually warm springs designated instead of hot springs or cold springs. There's an actual warm spring is the name of something, right? Somebody said that. I don't remember who, but somebody said, yeah.
Okay, Craig Carter is going back that I ruled out 3 states. I'm not even talking to that anymore because that's going to take off. And I'm going to get some random email from Forrest that says, what did you just say? What did you rule out? No, I didn't say it. It was a joke. And obviously you guys can't take a joke. So yes, actually he ruled out all 4 states. It is now in Maine. You guys should go to Maine.
BB Bandit says Forrest said overlooking because the solver is overlooking for the chest. Aha. Okay. We're all overlooking something. That's for sure. Because we haven't been able to find this thing yet. Monet. But you went to the parking lot. Nope. Went to Monet. What does that mean, Davia? Monet is something in the Denver Museum, maybe?
Ooh, I think he should talk about that. He did a show today about the different things that he's going to bring to the marathon, which I'm excited about. Okay, let's go on to the next question.
Oh, for the 6 questions? Okay.
No, 4 questions.
4 questions on the 6th. All right. The little girl from India has fueled many a conversation and debate. You have mentioned that she cannot get closer than the first 2 clues. With having your poem and a map of the Rocky Mountains and while speaking good English, what would help her get closer to identifying the next 7 clues? And Forrest says she should not let her thinking to get in a rut. What exactly does that mean?
I think he's saying don't overcook my poem. I think he used a word that he wanted to use, so he made the sentence fit. But what is a rut?
Yeah,
if you looked up the definition of a rut, it's a wheel that gets stuck. Try the wheel. He's talking to Mike.
Try
he's
the
talking
wheel.
to Sam Smith.
Nah.
It's in Wyoming. It is near the medicine wheel.
Well,
why
okay.
are you guys even? He's ruled out 3 states, I think.
All right, so let's look at it. What is a rut? A rut is when you get stuck. Like when you're driving, you get
look
stuck
up the
in a
definition.
rut. All right, look at me look it up.
Oh, I'm calling you out.
A long, deep track made by the repeated passage of the wheels of a vehicle. That's one definition, but the one he meant was a habit or pattern of behavior that has become dull and unproductive but is hard to change. So basically he's saying change your thinking. Now, when you look at it that way, she should not let her thinking get in a rut. That almost tells me the little girl from India should be able to solve past the first 2 clues if she would think different things, if she would get out of the rut.
Okay, so do you want me to give you another definition that many people think?
Okay.
So there is another definition, and Richard McKeever says it is the mating time for a deer as well. Mating means courting, and courting is the dating of 2 people. And he's talking to you again, Mike, because you are courting me, and that means try the wheel. 2 definitions. I mean, how much more obvious can you make it?
That's pretty crazy. Okay. All right. Well, I think we solved it, everybody.
Makes me serious. I am going to get off. I'm just getting off. I'm getting off here, and I'm never coming back on YouTube. Come on, guys.
So where Warm Waters Halt has to deal with 2 deer mating season.
Marry the clues. He's saying we need to get married because we have twins. We have twins coming. I mean, come on.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
You know, there's a really special person out there that you know who you are. and not William. For the twins.
Tom Sawyer says it's not too late. Run. Mike's in a rut. All right, let's go. Question 3. So in a rut, though, that means don't let your thinking get you in a rut. To me, that means keep thinking. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
In other words, Jenny asked, what would help her get closer to identifying the next 7 clues? And he says, don't let her thinking get her in a rut, which means the same thing over and over again. Think something different. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, at first glance, does this question, it's like a nothing burger, right?
But now that I reread it, it's actually saying change how you think about the clues. Get out of the rut that the little girl from India
think differently. But why does the little girl from India, why is it after 2 clues? But he's basically saying, stop thinking about that, guys. Focus on something else. Focus on the word that's key, for God's sake.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, Greg Keller brings up a good point. Question 3 is a marathon topic that Forrest may have known about beforehand.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Don't we have a guest coming on to talk about the rules?
The guest is in the room.
Hey.
And I think it is fabulous because that person will need to tell us some details that I know because I don't want to out anything that might not be known, but I think it's awesome. Go ahead, Mike.
I love the many rules you've shared making for yourself over the years. They truly offer valuable guidance. If you were a searcher of this incredible treasure chest hidden in the Rockies, what rules would you make for yourself? What are a few rules that you feel searchers should make in the chase? And Forrest responds, I can't think of any rules that I've made unless you consider clues to be rules. If I were a new searcher, I would study the poem and not use the blogs as a rule book. Safety should always be the first consideration. So he said, I can't think of any rules that I've made, but doesn't he make a video where he talks about rules?
Well, do you remember when, gosh, I don't want to go to controversy, but I'm going to put it out there. I was looking for the 200 footer and I was thinking about getting the FOIA, which I have not gotten and I'm not pursuing. And there was some searchers that said, that's cheating. You're not using the poem. Forrest has said you have to use the poem. And Forrest and I have had some discussions about this. You get to use anything you want. Like, he didn't say, here's the rules. If you don't use the poem or you use something outside the poem, that you'll get disqualified and you have to hand it back to me. There are some hunts. There was a hunt that said, well, the lamp one. She was very nice, but she said, can you please not put the lamp out, because she thought that would give away some clues. I just didn't want to spend time then. We still bought it. We still, supported treasure hunters. Yeah. And there's another one that said you can't talk about it on the blog.
The map of the dead was like, you can't share answers, you can't discuss. And it's
I'm like, I'm not going to be controlled like that. I'm out. So for me, I think this is saying, I do not believe it's digging up his graves and getting us to his personal life and that kind of stuff. But he's saying, everybody needs to stop policing. There was like the Fenn police for a while and all that. I think he's saying, stop listening to anybody on the blog. Just figure this out yourself. You don't have to do it like everyone else. People say only the 166, and if you do anything else, you're cheating. Well, what are the rules and who made them up? Because there are
no rules, are there? Now, what Forrest is telling us is how you find the treasure chest. I think he's saying you're not going to find it trying to do all this other stuff. Only the clues take you there. But I don't think there's any rules as far as how you try and go about that.
But I do think, though, when he talks about the blogs, I mean, Cynthia has moved. That made a lot of people believe, because Cynthia is getting super secret hints like daily from Forrest. That's my sarcastic voice, if you were wondering.
Wow.
Daily, that she's moved up because of some secret information. And a lot more people were looking at the northern states when Cynthia is, I think, what we call, in the academic terms, an influencer, because she is very serious. She's very research driven. She's been out a lot, boots on the ground. And so if she moves, that's more than somebody that maybe has jumped around a lot. Like me, I've gone to 4 different locations in 4 years. Cynthia had New Mexico locked down. So I think it's something to be said for, I think it's a shout to Cynthia. That's my opinion.
It could be. Because she's been in it so long. I mean, she said, I've searched everywhere it could be in New Mexico, or I've searched everywhere One Water's Halt. Well, that doesn't mean she didn't miss anything. But for the record, she's going to
put out some very exciting stuff soon.
I hope so.
I think we all need to be watching.
There was an email we saw today that made it sound as if she's going to.
No, not like that. Like,
what?
No, I'm talking Chase.
I'm talking Chase related. So am I.
Oh. Did you see Dale's follow-up?
No.
About her birthday picture?
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going.
So for the record, everybody, there's some chat. I'm not Fenny Bones. Anybody seen the Fenny Bones video? The guy's got a skull mask on. That is not me. Fun idea, but it's not me.
I thought Tom Sawyer just said he's Fenny Bones.
Well, he said it, but I don't know who Tom Sawyer is, so that doesn't really help. But yeah, you never know. I'm the lead rutter. Don't get in a rut, everybody. Now I got to go get Cowlazars for a T-shirt.
Oh boy, that T-shirt place must love you.
Yeah, right. If Cynthia has inside info, she will get it. Well, she's still looking with the rest of us, right?
Yeah, exactly. And how many years goes by before we say, and how many searchers beforehand said, oh, I have information because I'm close with Ben, and they got nothing. So we all got nothing. We're nothing burgers.
Bo says maybe the 10th clue, being he parked at the Denver Museum, really hints to the fact that he parked at a museum, like the one in Cody.
That could be. And actually, that could be. Yeah. Well, and Craig Carter says anyone who sprays their own crotch with bear spray gets my respect.
Right. Put some Mercurochrome on
that today in the different emails that have been flying around. Okay. Okay, so isn't there one more?
Yes, there's one more, which I think everybody was like, it's going to be over.
Shout out to Mike. The second one was a shout out to the little girl from India, and she's done. And the third was a shout out to Cynthia. Okay, so what's the fourth one?
It's been nearly 10 years since the chest was hidden, and you've launched the chase. Since it's 2020, it seems like an appropriate question to ask would be, what vision do you have for the next 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years for the chase? And Forrest says, my vision tells me that it's only a matter of time until someone finds the chase. What does that mean to you, K-Pro? It's going to be over this year?
Okay, I will say this is the one getting the most chatter because people say, "Oh my gosh, that means someone solved it. The researcher's going." No,
But
I don't know what you're reading.
you got to
Did
look
you
at
read the same thing
yeah.
as me?
You got to look at the question. She said, "What vision do you have for the next 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years?" Forrest is like, "My vision tells me it's only a matter of time. Get it? 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. Could be 1,000 years for somebody to find." That's how I took it. I know people take that in different ways.
Okay, it's something that he has said before that we have a quote on that we'll eventually put is he's just an interested observer, guys. He is not, I think,
Right.
putting his thumb on this that it's going to be found right now. I think he does watch his emails. I think he watches them too much. But I think he's, into this, but I don't think he's putting his thumb on the oh, this is going to be found this day because I'm going to give this person a hint. I just don't believe it. I think it would have happened before year 10. And there's so many people that have searched, including his family, friends, everybody, that I think this one is, I don't know. It's another nothing burger. So I need to absorb it for a little bit longer because we got some nothing burgers.
There's one from Jeepsy Soul. Now there's thinking outside the box. Forrest Fenn did say he would like to put a vehicle in the treasure. I don't remember that. Maybe he put a set of keys to the vehicle in the treasure chest and it's parked at the museum. So in other words, he's giving you a vehicle to get out of there when you find the treasure chest.
And it's been there for 10 years?
Yeah, right. I just think it's funny. That's outside the box thinking, that's for sure.
And you go to the car, like on Cocaine Island or Cocaine
Island.
You go
on
up
Netflix.
to it and you open it up.
Yeah. Then the police are everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. And they take you away and they sue you or they throw you in jail.
All right, let's play the clip one more time and then we'll take some phone calls. How's that sound? Unless you guys got, then we can do phone calls and questions.
Tonight, phone calls need to be related to the clip or one of the 4 mysterious writings questions.
All right, here we go, everybody. Somebody said they want Douglas Preston's hair.
Okay, so now you've had in the foreword of Once Upon a While and famously quoted another time with 2 different locations of this famous parking lot, what we call the 10th clue. So what is it about the Northern Arizona University parking lot and the Denver Museum of Natural Sciences parking lot? What's similar between them that we should be looking at, or searchers should be looking at to discover the 10th clue?
Well, this is a mystery because you're going to have to ask Forrest this one. Now, it might be my faulty memory. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that 25 years ago, Forrest told me that they were going to find his car in the parking lot of the Museum of Northern Arizona. I think he told me that. Now, I mentioned that a couple of times, and then Forrest very much more recently said to me, no, that's wrong. The car would have been in the parking lot of the Denver Museum of Natural History. Okay, so you're going to have to ask him about that. I don't know. I may be misremembering or whatever, so.
The question that Douglas deferred to you, so I will ask you together. Once Upon a While references a parking lot, but there has been 2 references to Northern Arizona University and then the Denver Museum. What is similar about those 2 museums that we should be focusing
I heard
on?
what Doug said a while ago, and I remember in the very beginning, I made a comment about the parking lot, I think at the Museum of Northern Arizona in Flagstaff, but I don't remember in what context. And looking back on it now, it certainly isn't prevalent.
So is it the 10th clue?
Is it what?
It has been heard to be said it is the 10th clue.
Well, I'm not going to talk about clues, but I'll say that the parking lot in Arizona is not relevant to the chase. That should answer your question.
Okay. Is the one in Denver?
That's Doug. He's the one that said it.
Okay. Somebody put in chat, it's that he was going to leave his car in a parking lot is what's important. Not so much Denver Museum, but parking lot is what's important. Maybe. All right, phone lines are open.
There's a museum, as we're waiting for phone calls, there is a museum near the medicine wheel. There is a museum in Cody. There is, they're everywhere. So since we don't have the crawl on,
Yeah,
I will
but not
say
yet.
that 702-530-9260.
If you want to call and say hi and you want to tell us what you think about the clip that we played about the 2 parking lots or about the questions that Jenny put out today.
Yeah, somebody asked me, does this mean he's not putting out anything next month? My guess, I haven't talked to him about this, is yes, this is his annual update.
Sternworm. Do you understand what he's saying there? Do you have a
Yes, I
$1,000 bet?
understand.
Oh, all right. Thank you for the super chat.
I will answer it right after this
right.
call, Sternworm.
Okay, Pro and Cowlazars.
Yeah, this is Richard McKeever. How you doing?
Hey, Richard.
Hey,
How are
Richard.
you?
Oh, pretty good. I had a couple things on the questions that he answered for Jenny today. One of those being that he said a lot without saying anything. You with Forrest, you got to learn to listen to what he's not saying and the way he's saying it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think he's trying to convey through there?
I think he's trying to convey on one part where he doesn't answer about the 200-foot searcher. It's like same thing as why a lot of people think it's in Colorado. I'm one of them. It's because he does not talk a lot about Colorado, and when he knows something, he talks less about it. And if I was to hide a treasure, I wouldn't tell everybody talk all over the place and write stories about all the places where I didn't where I hid the treasure. I would tell them about places that I liked, but where I hid something very special, I would not talk about that much. I would say just enough to give you an idea of where to look.
That's
the other thing I'm looking at is the other thing I'm looking at is where he says at the very end he thinks it's going to be found soon. I don't think that's in particular to any one person or anything like that. I don't think when he originally came up with this, he thought there was going to be 350,000 people out there looking for the treasure chest, and that's why I think he believes it's going to be found soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought it would get this big. So, because I was thinking, Mike and I have done a few hunts, and it is amazing how some things that I thought were going to be super easy became hard, and some things that I thought was so hard were solved in like 9 seconds. And so Forrest, I could see he's I think a confident person, but I don't think he's overconfident. He's pretty humble for all he's done. He must be thinking 400,000 different minds. Somebody's going to crack this soon. That would be my guess, because I think, like Sassy said in the beginning, there was like 20 people at a bookstore, and that was it, because it hadn't taken off yet. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, well, I agree with you 100% there. And with talking about the little girl in India not being in a rut, I think he's telling everybody, take your blinders off. Don't look at just a single thing. He's often said the person that's going to find this treasure chest is a person that can adapt and change in the field to understand the different possibilities of what he's saying, because he's not saying anything, as A, B, C. He's saying A is an algebraic A. In other words, it has several possible meanings, and how it connects to B is how you end up at C. And that's how you have to look at this, is with a multi-level thinking. You're going to have to think, well, did he mean this? Did he mean this? Or could it possibly be actually warm waters? As in where warm water's hot. Is it philosophical, or is it physical, or is it metaphysical?
Yeah, and some
that's
people
what
think
you
there's
have to look
double
at.
meanings
It's
on
what he's
things
thinking.
too. Yeah. Well, I cannot disagree with what you're saying tonight, and I think there's more to it than the average. Well, but we have some things that we're going to show during the marathon that might put to light how much of these rabbit holes we want to go down outside of some things he's already put out. But yeah, I mean, it's all interesting. It's all interpretation. Yeah. It's only going to take one of us. One person's going to laugh at us and say interpretation.
Say it again,
I'm going to be there watching.
Oh, okay, good. We invite everybody to watch. We hope so.
Well, that's me a lot of times. I'm just going to be sitting back there watching. If I see something, I might call and talk when you open things. But
yeah, feel free.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay.
And
all right.
Have a good night.
You're
thanks,
a good
Richard.
Twitter. Have a good night.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Good night. And that's interesting because just I'd say in the last 2 weeks, somebody emailed me and was like, it's obviously in Yellowstone. That's all he talks about in the Thrill of the Chase. And now Richard's saying it's got to be somewhere he doesn't talk about, like Colorado. There's kind of like two schools of camps, two camps of
remember
schools.
when Cynthia and I did was it north or south? And exactly for that reason, we went into the different states. Okay, so let's go back to the super chat, which is Sternworm about $100.
$1,000. Any interest in rekindling that $1,000 bet? What's this $1,000 bet?
So here's what happened, and I apologize for doing it on AGK's channel, but that's where it came up. On AGK's channel, Sternworm, I think he went boots on the ground last weekend. About a week before that, he's like, and I'm sorry if I characterize this a little wrong, but he was the classic rooster of, I've got this. It's done. And he said it enough times that I was like, yes.
Okay.
He said it enough times that I said, okay, Sternworm, I'll bet you $100 that you're not going to find it this weekend when you go. And let's just say it got a little carried away because then he was like, okay, I'll bet you $1,000 that I either get it this time or sometime in spring. And I'm like, that's not what I said. You've been saying you're going to go find it in 5 days. I just didn't want to hear that as much.
Nobody ever pays
like,
those bets anyway.
And then other people were like, I'll take the 1,000. He's like, no, only with K-Pro. And we went back and forth. We've become okay since then. The moderators on the AGK got a little irritated with me, and I understand it, and I apologize. But if you're going out, I don't want to do 3 months from now that you might or might not be there, whatever. I want to say, if you're confident and you want to say, I'm going and I'm going to get it in 5 days, when Sternworm that was the bet. I don't know when you're going. I don't know what the whole thought is at this point, but that was the premise of my bet is you're going in 5 days and you're saying, I got it. It's done. I got it. That was my bet for 100. I would have bet you 1,000. Last Saturday you weren't going to get it, but you didn't get it.
So super chat from William, thank you very much. Best quote I've heard about the chase is, nothing ruins a good solve like boots on the ground. Yeah, that's true. And I'll just say that there's a searcher that we know, K-Pro, I won't say who it is, but we had a friendly wager and he did pay up because he thought it was going to be found. And he actually sent the friendly amount. So you never know, sometimes people do pay up. Some people put their money where their mouth is.
Well, here's what happens in my family. We call it the $1 bet, and you actually have to write on the $1 what it is because that's respect. And some of my family members put it up on the wall. And when we come over we're a little bit competitive in my family. Things get a little crazy. Let's just say I'm the most timid of the group that my family is from.
Really?
Oh my gosh. K-Pro bet 10,000 next time against any of that nonsense. That was kind of my point. So Starmore, let's talk offline, and I would do a bet, but I do want everybody to know what the parameters are. But when it's short term, but then also it was everybody knew me, somebody doesn't know the other person, that was the other one. So Tom Sawyer beats her brother in arm wrestling. Well, that's not true, but okay. You feed him in other things. Tavares says, timid, please. No, you guys know how maybe extroverted I am. Well, Mike, you know a little bit. My family is very, very aggressive, very
competitive.
Very competitive, very, most of them are guys. And so we're very, I thought it was more playful than described, but no word. Yes, it was playful. And I do have to say, but the only reason it wasn't playful is others, I think, got upset or irritated or whatever. Sternworm and I are good. We're good.
Sternworm is the one we met in Detroit, right? The Detroit meetup?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's a picture. Maybe I'm getting confused with somebody else. Was that you at the Detroit meetup, Sternworm? I think I remember.
No, I don't.
Maybe not.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It looks similar.
It looks similar. Okay, maybe not.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, somebody said, can they call? Yeah, Bo, you can call. Anybody can call. We've got open phone lines. Unless he meant call you, K-Pro. In that case, no. Not at least till we go off.
Are you talking about Bo Walker?
No, Bo Eads.
Oh, I was going to say Bo has my number.
K-Pro and Cal?
Yeah, Mike. Doug here from PEI.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Great. Yourself?
Good. We're doing all right. And K-Pro's here, too.
Hi.
Love your guys' show, and I was just showing off that I can... she should lock down her phone not to get calls on Facebook.
Oh, gotcha. Through Messenger, they can call you.
That was me the other week.
Yeah. So.
Oh, but I like right after I get off. It's funny because after we get off our show, I usually spend an hour talking with people on Facebook, and some people have, everybody has my email, but some people have my text, all that. I like getting the calls and things, but usually calls I don't take. But yeah, that was, anyway. But I like everybody.
Yeah.
That's what Mike always says. You're friends with everyone. I'm like, yeah, how many emails did you get for last night's show? And he's like, 1. I'm like, I got 72. Fun.
Anyways, if anything breaks down, you can probably use that through video chat if you wanted on that.
Through Facebook, yeah, video chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've used it. Me and K-Pro have used it before. It's actually a pretty handy little thing. Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, like, you could probably broadcast it live.
Oh, you mean show it? Now, see, I didn't even think of that. So, yeah, I'd have to think about that. Oh, through the computer. Yeah, I got you. Facebook Messenger. Yeah, we'll test that. You never know. That might be an option for the marathon. As long as people
if you
are
break
okay
down
being on.
systems,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yeah. I never thought of that. It never occurred to me. But, yes, we could do that.
Yep.
Anyways, the little girl from wherever,
Yeah.
the Rut,
Yeah.
I think it is people have to get over that she can't get past the first 2 clues, or her, theoretically. Like for me, for being so far away.
Oh, gotcha. So you're far away from the search area?
Oh, yeah, like 3,000 miles.
Gotcha.
Well, but taking his quote from tonight, I think he's saying it's so far of a reach and you can't really figure out what I'm saying. So out of everything you can jump into rabbit holes about, just let's put that one to bed. Like, he didn't make her up. Jenny said, I made her up. Just put that to bed is kind of how I took it. Do you agree?
Yeah, but you still, okay, I'm not hearing you now.
Uh-oh.
See,
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now there you go. There you go.
Okay. So do you, my point was, it seems like by his quote, he is saying it's a lost cause to try to analyze the little girl from India. I didn't make her up. Let's just put this baby to bed. It's kind of like it was a slow news night and it's taken off. He didn't want it to take off. I don't think he wanted the gut feeling to take off. Those are 2 that he's just saying, let's put those to bed. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. The other thing that blew up back in 2013 is when he was doing an interview and someone directly asked him, "Who is Brown?"
Oh, I haven't heard this one. What did he say?
What was his answer?
It was framed in that, and something about it would take you right straight to the treasure.
Oh, is that when he said, if I told you that, then you'd go right to it? That type thing?
Right.
Yeah,
I do
okay.
remember that.
I do remember that, yeah. So do you think that means it's a person, based on a person? Who is Brown?
Well, there was a house mentioned in the question just before it, and a who is Brown.
Oh, okay.
Not a what, not anything
That's
else.
interesting. So if it is based on a person, would that be where they're born, where they grew up? I wonder.
Well, that's the only thing is how many different things can be a who?
Right.
Right. Oh, I need to go. Where was that? I want to go look that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one interview that's even got who is Brown if you go on Terry's scan.
Right.
Okay. Who is Brown? Thank you. That's. We might do a show on that. That sounds good.
Could be.
Yeah. Anyways, that's when I shut down because right around then there was a 200-foot thing, but I didn't know that it was a rich friend, and I shut down for a while and not paid any attention for about 4 years then.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard the rich part. I will say I'm just confirming what I heard. I'm not confirming if it's true, but I did.
No, but I'm just saying, once I heard that there was a 200-foot search, I said it was over and shut down all my.
But little did we know that we're still here 10 years later.
Right.
Right.
And
and
the other thing is that 8 1/4 mark is an actual real boundary line.
8 1/4
on BMF. Yeah.
8.25.
From
gotcha.
A real boundary line.
Really? I haven't heard that before. So from the northern boundary of Santa Fe, north 8.25 miles?
Yeah. It's actually Taos Indian Reserve or something.
Oh, okay. So there's a border right there. Borderline biddies.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Between Santa Fe and thing. There's an actual line on BML
BLM,
land
yeah,
developments. They show an actual borderline right there.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but Miss Lisa brings up a good point. From where in Santa Fe? The center? From the northern boundary?
No, the actual, where the sort of like spaghetti thing that you guys call the spaghetti loop, the northern part of the city limits, north by 8.25.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it has that same little loopy thing. Okay.
Yeah, because there's a boundary line right at for Santa Fe city's limits too, right? On the same map.
Has he said city limits? See, I wasn't sure about that part.
I thought he meant from the northern border of Santa Fe. From the city limits, the northern part.
Okay, that'd be the same.
Yeah. Anyways, if you use the BML maps, you can layer it the same as Google Earth.
Oh, okay.
And it also gets you out of trouble with things because you can put in mineral rights and stuff like that, so you're not stomping on other things.
Right. I think
so it's an excellent map.
I think somebody on the marathon is going to talk about land ownership and some things like that. That's in the agenda, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So
we're going to have a
so that's one
marathon.
of the. So the BML map site is probably the best one to use because you can do the most things to find out the most information of restrictions.
Okay. I'll have to look at it for sure, which I haven't.
Yeah. I can send you a link on your website. I did send you guys a thermal map of hot springs.
Okay. But I wonder, is there a map with warm springs? I don't know.
There's an actual designation of what that means. Warm springs.
It stops being warm when it's hot or cold. You got to choose between the two.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
anyways, I'm not going to tie up a whole lot of you guys' time because, I got a zillion thoughts. I've been at this race since 2010 and watched Cynthia and everyone else.
You've been there from the beginning. Okay. How many? And you're 3,000 miles away. Yeah, that's rough.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Relocated.
I ended up raising 2 little girls, so I had major amounts of times on my hands. So.
Yeah, gotcha.
When they were sleeping and stuff, and so I could do major amounts of watching YouTube, right?
Right.
And I don't know who this DOS is, DOS, because he had some interesting blogs that came up that I don't know why it didn't sound like he sounded like he was the closest going to be found because of the different things that he did there.
Oh, I don't know him either. DOS. I'm not familiar with that one. You remember?
Well, up on one of the Facebooks right now, they're talking about who do you think was Forrest Fenn, and there was one searcher was talking about somebody he thought was Forrest like 6 years ago, and I have to tell you, if you guys knew who Yoda was up on the a forum that's gone to crashed and burned, but and now he's over on Harry's. I finally messaged him and said, I think you're Forrest Fenn. There's a whole group of us that does. Can we just talk? Because I think you're Forrest, and I've talked to Forrest enough, I'll know pretty quick. And we corresponded for a long time, and I'm like, okay, he's brilliant. He's wonderful. He's awesome. He's a truck driver. He has a lot of time, and he's probably the most brilliant person I have ever corresponded with. But he was not Forrest Fenn. But I thought for years we would actually message each other. He's on. Forrest Fenn is on. And we'd all jump on. It was Chase Chat at the time. And so we all thought it was Forrest. And we had just a good time with it. It was just fun.
People used to think you were Forrest Fenn, K-Pro, before you came on video, remember?
No, some people still do. And that makes them wackadoos.
Yeah.
They're wackadoos. One person came up to me, confronted me seriously at the Las Vegas event, saying, I know you are Forrest Fenn. I'm like, you're here. I took the person's hand and put it, I'm like, you've now, and you met me and Forrest in the same room. It's not like Clark Kent. Like, do you need medication or what? And this person just had some issues, and I hope they work through them, but they believe to this day I'm Forrest. Like, I can't like take the mask off and be like, but come on, guys.
Don't be a wackadoo, everybody.
Wackadoo.
Anyways, Mike and Cabro, that's at 35 degrees north, 49 minutes, 22 seconds.
Okay. That's what the BLM where the border is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'll have to
gotta
check
go.
it out. Interesting. Okay.
And then that only runs for a certain area because it says Indian Reserve and it's all colored out if you leave it as the colors.
Okay. Well, send the link to a map if you get a chance.
Yeah. I'll post it on your main site there that you have the Monopoly thing in the background on.
Yes.
On the Facebook thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure on Facebook for anybody that wants to join. Yeah, put that up there for everybody to check out. That'd be awesome, Doug. Thanks.
Yeah, not a problem. And and the other thing I've been using is surnames. You know, your baby book name thing. What names mean.
Okay.
And there's a Spanish name in a county just beside that means woods or grove.
Yeah, Toby's a Spanish guy. You should.
You're so coming on our next marathon. Not
right.
this one because we're already booked, but you have lots of little tidbits. We've got to dig into this.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been doing my research. I've been using like a baby names book and stuff like that so I can translate Spanish and different things and surnames and what they actually mean.
Mrs. Ford Spanish
search.
class, car at the museum. I see what's happening here.
Oh, the car at the museum? My thing is he buys a car that's cash, has someone leave it there at the museum. He drives his car there and drives away in a cash car that has no title.
Oh, I see. Drop-off car. I got you.
Oh.
All right.
Wow.
Could be. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, if you find an abandoned, no-title car, who are you going to tie it to?
Forrest Fenn now.
Right.
That's awesome.
Okay,
No,
Doug.
but I'm just saying, at the time, if he would have done that for sure, right? Who would have ever thought of that?
Right. Well, yeah, when he was going to go die with it. Right. Yeah. Just leave his car.
You know.
I wonder if he's going to leave a note in the
no-
car or not.
Yeah, and no one knew about the Denver story in the first place at first until years after you lived, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so anyone wants to discount what he does in interviews, big mistake. He did live, and now he's giving sprinkles. That's all they are. They're sprinkles, and you got to sort them out.
Sprinkles. Okay.
Sprinkles.
All right.
Okay.
Hashtag sprinkles.
Right.
Okay, we got a lot.
If you want a quick spin on the wheel, I can give you the answer to that.
Quick spin on the reel.
Wheel.
Try the wheel? Yeah. All right. What do you think it means?
Okay. First stanza, treasure and riches mean the exact same thing.
First stanza. Say it again. First stanza and treasures means the same thing?
And riches.
Oh, okay. Hint
They
of
can be
riches.
you can swap them out either way.
Right.
And they mean the same thing. But see, treasure has 9 letters, but 3 of them repeat.
Okay.
So you only have 6 different letters. So you need 3 other letters that are different. Riches has 3 of the same letters as treasures,
Okay.
but 3 different ones.
Oh, I got you. 3. I got you. I kind of see what you're saying, but okay. Is that the hint?
The 3
hint of
letters that are
riches?
left over tie in with brown trout. Brown trout get ick. And the only way to get rid of ick is if they get into warm water.
Really? Okay. All right. Not sure where you went with that one, but okay.
Yeah, too far for me.
Well, he tied it into brown trout. I get it, but
Well, they get a little white spot on them called ick.
yeah, I've heard of that, like in fish tanks.
Sprinkles.
Yeah. Yeah, sprinkles.
Right. Anyways, it's no big deal. It's just the wheel of the way the other guy did it is wrong. Because it doesn't give you 9 different letters.
Do not mess with my Sam Smith and my Michael. I don't know. It's not wrong. It's just not. Maybe the way that you do it refines it more.
Anyways, I worked up something totally different. Anyways, you guys have a great evening. You guys do a good show, and it's time to let someone else do some gabbing here.
Well,
All
thanks
right,
for
Doug.
calling. You were
Thanks,
fun.
Doug.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
See you on the marathon.
Okay, super chat. 3D Braun says K-Pro is Forrest. You guys all remember that. And I ruled out 3 states. I have said exactly where it is. And run now. I mean, come on, guys.
K-Pro and her tips. If you watched last night's show. Was that
my
last
gosh.
night? Oh, it was last night. What? What's wrong?
No phone call. You can call into Mike. I will not be taking phone calls right now.
I'm like,
I know who
what
that
if it's
is,
Forrest
and
trying to video chat you?
Don't start that rumor, for God's sake.
Home of Brown is Asia. Jeffrey Grajic, thank you with the $5 super chat. Home of Brown is Asia. What does that mean? Oh, Brown, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what he meant. But where he was going with that.
K-Pro and he what? I don't know. It has gotten out. You know what? The marathon is going to be out of control. I can tell you. Do you think Forrest hit it in an Indian reserve land? I am Super Sam. No, I do not. And I'll tell you why after this call.
All right, here we go. Chase Opley and tips. Can we help you? Hello?
Hey, yeah, am I live?
Yeah, you are live. How are you? K-Pro and Cal. Introduce
Oh, that's
yourself.
strange. I'm listening. I'm listening to like an old or like the videos behind.
Oh, there is a delay.
Turn it down. There's
There
a delay on it, and it'll only confuse things. So turn your computer down and just focus on us while you're on the call.
Because the way we live
or
stream,
it gets really
there is a delay. Yeah, that's true.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, actually, I just clicked on mute. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about just what I believe we must really focus on the most, as far as what I've found through all my assimilation and synthesizing of information.
Okay.
What I believe to be the key things in order to find the chest. So, okay.
Well, let's take one step back. Can you tell us either a handle name or a name that we can call you as we chat?
Sure, Bo.
Oh, Bo.
Okay.
Is this Bo from the chat?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Okay.
Talking to
So
you.
what should we focus on now that, like he said, don't focus on, it kind of relates to the 4 questions tonight. Like, don't get in a rut. Don't focus on the little girl. What do we need to focus on? What do you think? And why?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm so there. It's a little bit outside of context of what we're talking about tonight. But
Okay.
it is. I hope it's okay. It's just like 8 things I think I have here that I wrote down so I can have them all ready for you guys.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So yeah, the first one is the fact that Forrest has said, I think this is I put this as the top of the list because I think it's the most important one that stayed in my mind, is if you can marry the hints in the book, and I think that word marry carries a lot of weight, because if you can marry the hints in the book to the clues in the poem, you can find the treasure chest. He said something along those lines. So I thought that was really
I like that one.
powerful. Yeah. And so one could find the chest only using the book and the poem. So I thought that was one of the biggest things. And so that's something to always keep in mind. And the second thing is, I believe Forrest has said, because it's stuck in my mind, but I don't know if it's his exact words. But I think he said, if I was at the home of Brown, I could walk straight to the treasure chest from the home.
Yeah,
Have
that's
you guys
something
heard him
Richard
say
said.
that?
Yeah, somebody said he said something about, somebody asked him, if I can figure out where Home of Brown is, can I backward engineer where Rome Waters halt? And he said, yeah, but why would you? You could go right to the treasure, something like that, something along those lines.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I heard him say exactly, like, if I was at the home of Brown, I could walk straight to the treasure chest.
So that means it's like
kinda
right there. Yes, I like that one too.
Of course, Forrest could walk
that's
right
quite
to
interesting,
it. I don't
huh?
know if we could. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. I like your list so far.
So so I guess that means the home of Brown is, if he's a in real good shape at 90 years old, he might be able to walk. But he did, and this actually relates to another thing that I wrote in my list, is the fact that he said that from where he parks his car, it's less than a few miles. I'm for sure he said that it's less than a few miles, in his words, from where he parked his car is where the treasure chest is.
Right. And he
So,
made the 2 trips in
yeah.
one afternoon. Right.
Yes, he said that
Yeah.
publicly, and then privately to many people, he said less than a mile. Or no, he said dipping your toe in it. Sorry, I believe 1 mile for other reasons, but the only public quote out there is less than a few miles.
Right. So it could be that he parks at the home of Brown, and then from there you can walk to it. So
Because that's where we put in. That very well could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's up a creek, at the end of the creek, or somewhere near a creek. So a dry creek probably.
Do you think put in below the home of Brown could mean park below the home of Brown?
Yeah, and actually, I had read an article online regarding fishing, and there was actually someone wrote in an article online the very words put in below, and it was really that jumped at me because that I've never seen that other than Forrest saying that, and that article I think I bookmarked it. It said put in below a certain landmark of the river. So below could mean like maybe put into the river, or I think something put in could mean get into the river, or either park your boat somewhere out from the river. But below could mean, I thought it used to mean south, but it could mean just below something going downstream the river.
Yeah, that one's hard. Okay, you're not 100% on that. That one, it's still just it doesn't make me go yes.
Right.
That one, like your first.
Yeah.
What if home of Brown is in the river? Well, then obviously you have to put in below it. I don't know how it could be in the river, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, it could. I think it probably means park your boat somewhere below where the home of Brown is near the river, and then from there you go up the creek. So, but the next one is a place where one would lay their bones. So we have to remember that it's a place. It can't be in some place that someone wouldn't want to bury themselves.
Right.
It can't be like so we have to remember that it has to be in a place where someone would in a decent place where someone would want to die. So
right, yeah.
Well, so I need a little interpretation. What do you mean by decent place? Like AGK says, does it need to be fenny? Does it need to be beautiful? Does it need to be like what do you mean by, or is it the type of land, or what does it have to reference? Like, does it have to have fishing nearby because he loves to fish, or what? Like, define decent for me, because that's a very broad term.
Right. So what I think is that just where most people, because we don't know exactly what's in his mind. So I think it's I think it's as close as we can get to that. The truth there is where most people would want to be buried. I wouldn't say so far as Finney, but where most people could want to be buried. Like no one, we can trying to rule out anywhere where no one would want to be buried. I think that's a better way to put it. So no one would want to be buried, like in a parking lot somewhere near a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it could be like in the wilderness somewhere, or near a river or something like that.
I think it's got to be secluded, because I don't think he really wanted anybody to find his body for a very long time, or the chest.
Well, and I thought about like Old Faithful. Even though it's beautiful, it takes 2 hours to even get in there. We went to Old Prismatic Springs, and Mike, remember how busy it was?
Yeah,
and so many people, and I thought it's gorgeous, but the amount of people alone done, like there's no way Forrest would be here or even right near it, because there's so many stinking people. So I see what you're saying there. Okay.
We got a question from the chat. They want to know what state you're in, Bo.
Oh, I'm in Maryland. All
Maryland.
the way on the East Coast.
Hey, I was over there at NSA, Fort Meade, back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm here in Preston.
And for those of you that don't know, Forrest has ruled out Maryland. I'm just saying it. I'm sorry if I'm speaking on behalf of Forrest. So you have to do some traveling, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a little ways.
Yeah.
Have you been boots on the ground?
I have not, but I definitely will this year sometime. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about a trip to Vegas here in a month and a week.
Well, but that's only 6, right?
What's that?
Or is that 8? Didn't you say you have 8 items?
Oh,
Yeah, actually, I just have a couple more. So,
Yeah.
the next one is we must remember and always keep in mind also that a child with a good imagination should be able to realize our own solve. So, like many people have like 10 different solves.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should keep it in their mind also that a child, like he did mention, a child could solve the poem. So we should keep that in mind. Like the way a child or the way children could think, like they wouldn't think like Albert Einstein or things like trying to decrypt stuff and numerology and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
it could just be a direct translation, or like a childish kind of way to think of where Warmatter's halt might be Agua Fria, for example. So,
And I have D-Pro interpreting different quotes and things. It is amazing how. And the other thing that we watched the Family Feud, and it is amazing when he hears something, he hears it totally different than I do it sometimes, especially because they make like references to like sexual things, and he doesn't even understand it. He is very well. There was a question about how. What is the number one thing you get naughty with? And he was like, the tooth fairy. And I was like, obviously everybody answered naughty in a different way because they were like, they went there. And so when he talks about children, they interpret words differently.
Yeah.
He keeps it so simple. Right. And so I think it's more than just imagination. I love your imagination one, but I also think they don't go down 100 rabbit holes. They're not going to like have advanced ciphers. Exactly. They're keeping it so D-Pro will look at me and go, I don't understand that. So Forrest probably wouldn't agree with you. And I'm like, darn it. He's so good at that. Like keeping me like going down from prevention of going down the period. I showed him the periodic table and he's like, Mom, really?
That's funny.
So I like that one. That one's a good one. Okay. What's the next one?
Yeah, in other words, a child is not a geologist, and a child is not, an
archaeologist or an advanced cipher mathematician. I love it. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Children are not geologists, or anything else. They're just children. So, yep. So let's see. The next one is, it's in a place with pinyon nuts. I think he meant to say. I hope I'm not spilling like beans here, but. Let's just pretend we didn't hear that. I think that's what he meant not to say, but you guys heard me. So I think it's in a place with those things. And I've actually scanned the whole Rockies, and there's only those things in certain areas. So, and where wildlife and mountains can be seen. So we got to keep that in mind also. Mm-hmm. The elevation factor limits, altitude limits, and the type of land it's probably on, which I think it's either in, it's in the wilderness, in the national forest, or BLM. So
it must be BLM or which ones?
Or in a national forest, because you did talk a lot about it could be in Gallatin or.
Why have you ruled out national park, private land? Like you picked 2 of 20 different categories. Why did you pick them?
That many? Oh, cool.
I like those, but why?
I don't think it's on private land because it would be, because I've seen arguments that said that it would be too difficult, it would be too complicated for people to try to go and get it. So that just, in my mind, that just sort of rules that out in my mind, just because of the complexity it would involve in getting the chest and claiming it. So
in some secret way, wouldn't it make it really, really simple then?
Simple as far as
if
what?
Forrest owned it, let's say under some sort of S corp, just by an example. So he owns it by some sort of S corp, but he owns it. Forrest owns it. So then there's no. I mean, Forrest owns it.
Oh yes, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, actually, You're right. That is the only type. You're totally right, K-Prod. That's the only type. You just made me remember that was actually the only type of private land that I would agree that it could be on, and if it's his private property. And I actually was looking at. I was looking online to see if there's a way to figure out what lands, and I actually found a database where you can search. I don't know if I'm, I'll just say I think there's a database online where you can search what lands, search by name, what lands certain person owns.
Yeah, but I think he's done something clever there. I don't think it'll be obvious that he owns it because many of us have gone down that rabbit hole, let's just say.
Right.
Okay, let's just go to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so the last one I have is the chest is in a place that is very dear to Forrest. So I think that it can't be in a place that could not be dear to someone. So it's the same kind of thing, like the same kind of, I guess, vagueness as far as where someone would want to bury themselves. But if you think very dear to him, I think we've had some clues on what's very dear to Forrest. For example, in the Too Far to Walk book, he mentioned a place that's very dear to him. So we have to also keep that in mind. It's a place very dear to him.
Well, here's a question I have about that. I've thought a lot about this, and I've thrown this out to a few different people. If Forrest genuinely has had this location in his mind since 1988, it is his most special spot. It's very dear to him. And he's a storyteller. He's a talker. Why does no one in his family know this most special spot that he's had no doubt ever since either he was 13 or 40 or 50?
Right.
But he knew for decades this spot, at least a decade, maybe up to 5 decades. He didn't know about this before he got cancer because that's where he got the idea. Why isn't he bragging that place up? Why hasn't he talked? Why can't we look at him and say, shut up about that spot, Dad, Grandpa, Uncle, whoever? Why did he keep it secret?
I think it could be in light of that. I think it could be that when he came back from the Vietnam War, I think that if that's the case, that his family members probably don't know about it. It could be that it's someplace in New Mexico that. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. It could be in someplace that in New Mexico, for example, that he developed a new passion for when he came back from the war and just hung out there all the time. So that therefore maybe not many people knew about it. So maybe it wasn't a place from his childhood. So that's just my hunch on that. That
He's
could
not
be
telling
like a newfound dear
Summers
place.
or Jackie Onassis. He's not telling
Or Eric Sloan.
Or Eric. Well, and so Eric died, Skippy died, and his dad died. I can see him telling those people. But if this is genuine, he doesn't think he's burying the treasure yet or putting the treasure in its spot. I don't know. That's the only thing that I have. That's the one that I cannot get. That's the one I should have asked first.
What we could have asked him, what I'd like to have asked him now is, if you didn't hide the treasure chest, what would you have done with that special spot instead, if anything? I mean, did he have plans? Would he have done something else related to that spot if it wasn't this treasure chest?
If it wasn't related to the chest, I think it would be related to where his like a newly discovered after. I mean, as far as after when he came back from the war. It could have been a newfound fishing spot that he deemed as his new favorite spot, and it could be like near like maybe some Indian land because he loves Indian culture and Native American culture. So it could, in my mind, it could be a newfound spot that after he came back from the war, back to the U.S. He discovered that spot, and that would probably be in New Mexico. Where I think he spent most of his days after the war, right?
Yeah, he went to New Mexico after he got out of the service. Yeah,
and that in New Mexico, I don't know if I should say this, but the book, he said to marry the hints in the book to the clues and poems. So Taos, in New Mexico, that could be one of the hints, and that's why I'm going to search Taos first when I get out there. And
nice.
He did talk about, he did say the word warm in the Taos chapter. I don't know if I'm giving away too much info here, but.
Taos in general, and just saying warm, I can tell you there's hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands that have searched that. I mean, I don't think you're giving away too much. Now, anything more than that, I'm going to caution you. But Taos, there's probably 90 people in the room that are saying, yes, Taos.
Right.
Yeah, that was like the last thing I was thinking about when
I like your list. There's one or two that is a little too vague, but still could be good things. But you had some really, really good ones. Marrying the hints, definitely. I like that one. The type of land, BLM National Forest. I spent probably 30 or 40 hours on the different types of land, whether it's abandoned or lost property. I can tell you BLM and National Forest are the two with the most, I won't say loosey-goosey, but the most liberal, not politically, just the most liberal of their regulations. So I like that one. The children one, you have lots of good ones. So when are you going boots on the ground?
He did mention also. I don't know if you guys are hating me from giving all this information away, because these are like more like these are more things that I hear less people, not a lot of people talking about. But he did also mention this won't get any people too close to the treasure island, too much closer to the treasure island thing. But I think it's also important that he said in the Playboy interview that he made the comment, how did it go? Something like, what would the law say about me burying something in the front yard of a cabin that I rented?
Right.
Well,
he's saying who owns who. If I rent a cabin, who owns the barbecue? Who owns? It's about ownership.
We just did the same. We already put that clip out. Yeah, we put that clip out. Yeah.
And then,
we put something similar out there. Yep.
All right, Bo.
Well, excellent.
Good thoughts. Yep. Good thoughts for sure.
Great call in. Thank you for calling, and hopefully we'll see and hear you in the marathon.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I love following you guys. Keep it up.
All right. Thanks, Bo. Thanks for the call.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
So 3D Braun says, didn't Forrest say that he didn't want to tell even the finder why the spot was special because it was very private? Well, in our interview, he said there's something that's significant to the story, but I thought he said I'm leaving that for the finder.
Oh,
we played that.
I don't think we played that.
Yes,
okay, answer. I'll scold you later.
K-Pro and Cal. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, all right. Who we got?
Oh, that was so weird. I'm in chat. I'm Tez Noir, but I got to take my headset off because that was weird. It was a strange delay before you guys weren't even saying anything in the video. It's like, okay.
Yeah, we're delayed.
So there's about a 10, 15-second delay, so you should totally mute your
computer.
What you're
just
watching
go by the phone.
To us. So you're going to have to just go with us. You can watch the chat, but it's also delayed, so it gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was off.
So you said this is Ted?
Right.
Hi, Ted. Welcome.
Hello.
So what you got? You got something on the clip tonight, for questions, or something just totally different?
Oh, well, I was going to elaborate a little bit on kind of like parts of the poem I kind of like think might mean something as to where the treasure might be, and I had like a couple other things to mention to you too after I'm done. But
okay, so you're actually going to talk about the poem. This is new information. We love it. So go right ahead.
All right. So kind of like how I look at it is, when I look at the poem, I envision a map in my mind. Okay, so I look at the poem in a way where it is a map, but it is a map in descriptive form. Okay, so kind of like the very first part of the poem where he says, as I have gone alone in there, is I think what he's doing is he's talking about where he went. Okay, and so I mean, like I'm saying that's not where he said to start, but he's kind of like saying, hey guys, this is where I went, so you got to go there too, and then the next part is to begin it where warm waters halt. So once you figure out where he just told you to start, that's when you start looking. Okay, so then like the first part with being where warm waters halt, the only thing that really comes to mind to me when I think about that is a warm spring. That's the easiest, simplest, most logical thing I can come up with, not some weird obscure thing that's completely off the wall. It's got to do with special knowledge, or like fish that like this water or that water. It's got to be like the simplest thing, because he even said to keep it simple, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so what I started doing is I started looking around, and one of the other callers mentioned this earlier too, and that's kind of like what prompted me to call too. Is they mentioned that you can actually get a map of thermal hot springs in the United States, and there is a ton of them, and it's easy to kind of like figure out if the treasure is like near a hot spring, warm spring, same thing. Thermal spring.
Well, you know who did a great one on that? Was Minotaur Marino. He mapped it with elevations in the Rockies, and then if it was a warm or hot spring, and it narrows it down to like, I don't know, 500 spots, but at least it's not 5 million spots. It does narrow it down. So, okay, keep going.
5 million. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of like what I was thinking, because I mean, like, yeah, you can go through and you can look at the different warm springs, okay,
right.
And kind of deduce from that, like, some of them like indicate like what temperature they are, and you got to figure out, okay, in your mind, like, okay, if it's too warm that it can burn you, it's likely not going to be that one, because they even talked about dipping your toe in something. I forget where that came up. I've watched so many Fenn videos. It's just, oh my God.
That came from K-Pro. He actually told that to K-Pro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I tried to find it again because someone, prodded me on that information once. Because I kind of do Fenn videos of my channel, but not so much. My channel's a mess. But
someone actually referenced that you have a channel.
What's
so
the name
tell
of
your
the channel
name, because we support all YouTubers, just like Treasure Hunts. What's your channel name so everybody can go and see you?
Same thing. Tesnor.
Say it again.
Okay, I thought you said Ted. You're Tesnor. Okay.
Oh, Tesnor. Got you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mentioned that earlier, but I guess.
Yeah, it was hard to make out.
Yeah, I thought you said Ted Nor.
Yeah, I thought you said Ted as well.
Second word N-O-R. Okay. So Tesnor. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I do have to ask you, just randomly, your avatar doesn't look exactly like you on your video. Is that you in a younger life or a different life, or is that a important person in your life, or I'm just wondering?
What are you talking about?
On YouTube, you have a cartoon picture of a woman. Is that what you're talking about, okay, bro? With red hair?
That's my avatar from a game that I on occasion play. That's what that's from. That's from EVE Online.
Oh, EVE Online. I've played that before. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's awesome.
It's my avatar. I'm a gamer nut, and anime and whatnot, so I stuck that in there.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Tesnor on YouTube, everybody. Teznor. So go check out. He's got a bunch of videos on Forrest Fenn and other things. So yeah, check it out.
But yeah, so that's kind of like how I look at that. Is I'm not going to go through the whole poem because it's going to take up way too much time. But like pretty much everything I kind of like pick out, I try to find the most logical thing it would be, and the simplest thing. The only thing I'm having like a mind boggle, brain not working. Sorry, can't speak right now. Problem with is the Homer Brown. It's like, I got no clue, but since it's capitalized, it's got to be a name. That's basically what I think. But
okay, I mean, it could be. It's just hard to, it's hard to guess. I think we got to figure out where warm waters halt and just let it take us from there. If we can figure out
the best thing.
Where warm waters halt.
But yeah, I've even done like one of my videos I did, and I got a bunch of flack for this one. But I built a prop. It's a full-size prop of Fenn's chest. It's 10 inches by 10 inches by 5 inches. It's in the thumbnail of one of my videos.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went out into a forest, and I just would stick it in random places to kind of like show how. Because in my mind, the chest is not buried. I don't think it is, because Forrest wants the chest to be found, and not everybody has special equipment to like metal detecting and shovels and whatnot to dig something out of the ground, themselves. So I think it's just sitting out there somewhere, but it's probably in such an obscure spot that's kind of like tucked away somewhere where the average passerby is just not going to see it. And I kind of like elaborate a little bit on that in one of my videos, and I got torn apart for it. So
that means you're doing something right if it's anything like us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I like your thoughts. I mean, it's going to take something different, something than just the traditional thoughts, because that's where we're at right now. And we're 10 years in and we haven't found it. So it's going to take some different thoughts, some different ways. I had somebody call me today, and I love them when they say this, when they give me their idea and they say, what do you think? And then they're like, can you please tell Mike and see what he thinks? It's because we think so differently. I'm totally not offended.
Right.
Maybe
We're opposites. We're the odd couple.
But it's going to take totally different types of people to, I think we need to collaborate more and throw out ideas like you have to get this done.
Come on the next marathon. Give us some ideas.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've seen your videos. You did one very similar to Chris Jones, where it was like sitting and you like actually showed the construction, I think, or maybe that was Chris's, of like a chest. And then you like, when you walk down an area, it's like, where is it? It could be right there. So
yeah, anyway. It probably was. Actually, I don't think I've done it. Let me think. No, I don't think I've done a build video on that chest yet. It's actually not finished. One side of it doesn't have like the intricate little beadwork kind of stuff on the top lid. One side of that I didn't do it on, and then like the back side, I don't know what the back looks like, so the back is blank right now. But
what did you make it out of?
It is made out of a cake box.
Okay.
Foam board, paper clay, hot glue, and cardboard.
Nice. Okay. Because you actually put it out in the woods, right? I see you had a parody video up.
Oh no, I didn't leave it out there because of it being mostly made out of paper.
Gotcha.
I live in Colorado, and the snow would completely destroy that thing. So, but yeah, I mean, I didn't leave it. I was just kind of like showing examples of how it could be hidden. And, like, I didn't really, show in the last part of the video me, carrying it out. But, no, I mean, like, I didn't leave it there. It's going to get ruined if I do that.
All right.
Awesome. Well, we hope to see you at the marathon this weekend and a future marathon. You're a tour. Come on and share some thoughts. And, everybody go to, it's TEZNOR, is that?
Yeah,
I think that's
Noir,
it.
TEZNOR. Yeah, I put it in the chat, so hopefully you get some subscribers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, keep them up, keep the videos up, and we'll get this done eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to mention to you too, because this might actually like really, really benefit your channel and actually help you a bit more. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Patreon.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Patreon.
Oh, you have? Okay, yeah. I was thinking like
totally
what'd be good for your channel is to set up a Patreon page, and then that way you could have like different tiers, incentives, and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
For people to support the channel.
It's a way for people to donate, Christy. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I really haven't looked into it, but you're right. That is one way we could do it instead of super chat here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I know a lot of YouTubers who do that. There's another guy I watch. He doesn't do Forrest Fenn stuff. He does like uplifting, like self-help and self-esteem videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, he does all three. He's got his super chat going. He's got, his Patreon page, and then he live streams out to to YouTube, Twitter, to YouTube, Twitch.
Right.
D-Live.
Well, Tony Rusi says Patreon is
so
death.
He's got it all over the place. But
well, is it a controversial site? Because I don't want death, and one of our people are saying it's death.
I think they're saying tequila. Isn't it Patreon a tequila too? Patron? I don't know. I think K-Pro should be on Cameo. Who knows what Cameo is?
Never heard
I don't.
No, all right. Look up Cameo.com. What it is a bunch of celebrities that do birthday shout-outs. You pay them to do shout-outs for birthdays, anniversaries. Yeah, it's that whole kind of thing. Yeah, kind of funny. We would never make it on there, but it's for like famous people, yeah.
We have been in a casino where somebody's like, K-Pro?
Yeah,
Cow?
We ran into a searcher.
And I'm like, what is happening here? It was funny. That would happen 1 in a million times. But yeah, okay. We were like, it was awesome. It was Tom Hardy. We went out to dinner. We had a great time. But Mike's voice kind of carries. So yeah. Oh my gosh. So awesome. Well, thank you for calling in. It was a blast, and we'll see you hopefully at the marathon.
All right, Tesner, thanks for calling.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, see, talk to you later.
Okay, we need to shut down the phone lines.
Yeah. And Laura, I know you're trying to call. Call now real quick if you can.
Oh, great.
So,
okay.
Yeah, because she called like
Laura
10
Dunlap?
times. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
let's see if that's her. That is not her. Oh, wait, maybe it is. It is her.
Okay.
K-Pro and Cow.
Hey guys, it's Laura.
Hey, Laura, glad you got through.
Laura.
I see how many times you tried. So good.
Yeah, I was worried you guys might answer because it might come up blocked, but whatever.
No,
Thank
it
you.
doesn't. Yeah, of course.
First off, I really want to thank you guys for sharing all of these clips and the future ones that you are going to be sharing on the marathon. Much appreciated. It really helps.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for
Oh,
the
that
thank
was
you.
nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and since I'm in the Philippines,
Oh, wow,
research
okay.
mode for me is all year long. So
Right.
Do you
That's
ever
cool.
get to boots on the ground? I didn't know that. Yeah. So
yeah,
do you
I
get
usually call on AGK just to have Toby kind of just dissect whatever's in my head, because you guys know for sure how when you get something stuck in your head and you just need another voice to kind of just tear it apart or just,
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
well,
Is Toby is that for my life. I will call him and say, I'm in this dilemma about da-da-da, like, especially like I want to learn websites. And he's like, oh, do the, so Toby, I think Toby needs to put a hotline just for me. But yes, I know exactly what you mean about, especially Chase stuff too. We actually don't talk as much about Chase stuff as we do YouTube and all of that. But yes, he's great.
Right.
He's great people.
Right. Well, I was hoping to do that with you guys right now, if you don't mind. Just a real quickie one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Disclaimer, I'm not skipping warm water halt. I fully understand that it is the first and most vital clue to pinpoint the location. So no argument there. Another disclaimer, just how I'm going to go about with this, I am not about to tell people or encourage it in any way that, oh, let's all jump into Rio Grande, guys. Like, totally not.
Right.
Just as a, foreshadowing. But playing around with a word that could help within the poem, that could help figure this out. I got stuck on, your effort will be worth the cold. Cold. I got stuck on cold. Like, why would it be cold? And I know that there's a lot of theories out there, and a lot of them, I can't even say that they're wrong, obviously. I have no idea what's wrong or right. But I got stuck on, from Home of Brown, we put in. Now, if you skip through, if keeping in mind the worth the cold, the next stanza says, from there it's no place for the meek. It sounds like an encouragement. I mean, it sounds like a warning. Like, okay, this is definitely not a place for the meek. The next line, the end is ever drawing nigh, sounds like an encouragement statement. Like, we're almost done. This is not a place for the meek, but look, we're almost done. There'll be no paddle up your creek, taking Forrest Fenn very literal. If I took that literally in my head, my own logic, my own personal thoughts on it, if Forrest Fenn is saying there's no paddle up your creek, no paddle means no boat.
Because that's where
it's just going to
paddle to be in the boat.
It's just going to be heavy loads and water high. It almost sounds like you have to wade through this cold river. Creek, maybe, but not something that's detrimental that could wash you away like jumping into the Rio Grande. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
But something that's wadeable. You're going to go through this creek without a boat, no paddle, no boat, just you. Don't be scared. Not a place for the meek. But you got to go through it, making it worth the cold. And is this possibly why people have walked past it? Because the last thing anyone would want to do is wade through a creek, a very cold creek. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's been running in my head, and I was wondering, like, go
so
ahead,
you got
pick it
some
apart,
stuff
you
to
know, like
unpack
tear
here.
it down, something.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so here's a couple things, because the effort worth your cold is something that bothers me, just like the walking too far, or not far, but too far to walk. It seems like an analogy to me. I don't think it's a physical spot worth the cold. It's telling you, hey, this is kind of some things you should be seeing or hearing or whatever. So I like what you said there. And there was a clip, and I won't have it exactly. The room will definitely correct me. Something about waiters. Forrest was like, waiters can help you, or waiters will be good to have, or something about waiters.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe, and he never answered Sean Dotson's question on the flip side about you have to forge over any type of water. He's also said it's not in water, and I don't think, and he said it's not dangerous. So I think for an 80-year-old man. So I think all of those pieces together, I think the water might be cold right there. You're forging through it, but it is not something that's up to your chest. It's not even something up to your knees. Now, I do have to say, I agree with that. Caliente, and I walked through it. It is amazing. Some really fast-moving water, even at your knees. I do have to say, my clothes were all wet. I hit the ground. I was down 20 feet of the water, and search partner laughed his tush off that he was like, so can you keep your feet on the ground? You're in 2 feet of water. So I agree with what you're saying. I don't think it's the Rio Grande. I don't think it's chest high water. I think it's maybe knee high water. And he doesn't want to say, because maybe it dries up during certain times of year. So he doesn't want to say it, or there's a different way in. But that's my thoughts on what you said, because you had a lot there. That's my unpacking part of little pieces that I've remembered. But what do you think, Mike?
Well, Gregory Calvin Garcia just says the final drawing in the Thrill of the Chase is a guy with an axe with waders on. Is he wearing waders, or are those boots? Are they waders? Oh, that's interesting. I never caught that before. That's a good point.
I don't have the book in front of me, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just assumed he was a lumberjack with those big boots on, but are they actually
the one
waders?
That he told Joel Lewicki is the most important illustration to look at?
Did he say that?
I don't know if it's. I don't know. Let's see. What do you
those
think?
to me, those are boots, or could they be considered waders? That's because they're knee high. I thought waders go all the way up.
That's the wader part, right? That's the part that I've only.
I see what you're saying. Are they waders and then with boots on over it? Yeah, that's interesting. I never made the connection that those are waders before. Okay.
And this is the most important illustration for said so.
And yeah, that's a good question. Do we go into water or do we not go into water? I mean, we know he said dip your toe in it to find out if it's warm water or if it's cold water. But are we actually, when it's effort worth the cold and put in below, is it actually going into water? I've always thought no, but it's possible. It's definitely possible.
I don't think Forrest would ever come out and say, yeah, you have to go in the water. That poses a big danger to a lot of people,
Especially after what's
risky.
happened, yeah.
But, it's just always been a thought. I obviously don't think it's something so deep that you're really risking your life for this, but worth the cold kind of seems like, okay, I'm submerging part of myself somehow into something cold. I don't know. That's where I'm stuck. But again, I'm not, the most literal thing for me was there'll be no paddle up your creek, meaning if you're not using a paddle, you won't have use for a boat. So it's you being meek, not being meek about something. And it's not their first go-to to just say, okay, I'm going to go walk through this creek, or, I'm just going to go walk through stony water and risk falling, It's definitely not a meek thing to do.
Here's something to think about. So Mike will know exactly what I'm talking about. You remember, Mike, where we were at Ojo Caliente and all the girls jumped in? Mm-hmm. And there was a bridge right there, right?
Yes.
So about where we thought, me and my first search partner thought the treasure was about a mile up the river.
Okay.
Here's the problem. Well, maybe a half a mile up the river. We went a half a mile up the river and we were on one side. And my search partner said, let's search the other side. And I said, do you want to walk down a half mile, walk over? It would take us 20 minutes. I said, we have a dry bag. Let's just put we were in, not totally naked, but like my search partner said, I'll just get in my shorts and we'll put my clothes in the dry bag and I'll swim across. And he did. He swam across. Now, did he have to? No, but it would have taken us an extra 20, 30 minutes of hiking around. And we had walkie-talkies and all that. Now, he did forget to seal the dry bag, and that was a whole different issue. But I will say that made me believe maybe that's why Forrest didn't answer that question. Like, there's different ways to get in at the same spot. So we actually swam it. And then, we had enough gear that we were fine. But I wonder if there's one way that's easy, but another way that would be like the easy way was to just forge the river at Ojo Caliente. But the hard way would be to walk it, but it would have taken another a mile and a half to walk it.
And what leads a little credence, I think, is Alan just put this question. Forrest was asked, you said you made 2 trips from your car to hide the treasure. Besides walking, did you use any other method of transportation to get back and forth between your car and the hide? And his answer is, your wording of the question prompts me to pause and wonder if I can answer it candidly yet correctly. Were all the evidence truly known, and I answered in the positive, you might say I was prevaricating by some definitions of the word. And if I answered in the negative, you may claim that I was quibbling. So I will stay quiet on the subject. Thanks for the question. Why can't he just say, was there another method of transportation, yes or no? If he's walking through water, I wonder if that's why. He doesn't want to come right out and say, well, you have to walk through water. But
because other than one of the deaths, every one of the deaths were water related. I think he would rather get attacked for being equivocating, whatever his words are, than say, yeah, you got to walk in some water, just don't make it very deep. Because if he says that, or there's another way around, and then somebody else dies, that weighs heavy. That has to weigh heavy. Even though people die in Yellowstone, people die on the Rio Grande, people die everywhere. We know from the interview we did, it weighs heavy on his heart. But is there ways around it? There probably, in my opinion. But I do have to tell you, effort worth the cold. That one bothers me. Why is it cold when we've had world waters halt? I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Bothers me too. But yeah, that's just one thought about it. But obviously, is it right? Is it wrong? Heck if I know. Seriously.
Have you ever been?
You're obviously digging in at a good level when you're having these kind of questions. If you have WWWH and now you're looking at this kind of level, that means you're making your way through the poem. Good for you. Good on you. Go pick it up.
Thanks, K-Bro. But honestly, I don't have a WWH. I've just been going through the poem like, okay, let's say I do have the right WWH. And I miss out because I didn't try and understand the rest of the clues. So, I don't know.
Have you been boots on the ground? Any plans for a trip this year?
I have not. I promised myself that the only time I would go, which I can, but I'm not going to waste, I do not have the luxury to just keep going back and forth, obviously, more than anyone that's currently in the United States of America compared to me. But I promised myself I would go once I am truly sure about my warm waters halt. And this is why I constantly call Toby to just break everything down and bring me back to reality with the stuff I have in my head. And now, thankfully, you guys are accepting calls, so I'm going to bother you guys about it, too.
No problem. Call in on the marathon, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the marathon, and I appreciate your thoughts and opinions on the matter. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks,
and
Laura.
You'll have 15 to 17 of your closest search friends that will be on. It will be a blast. So we're excited.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks, guys. I'll let you guys go, okay?
All right. Thanks, Laura.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
All right. I think that's going to do it. We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes already. See how it flies by when we're having
going to do
fun?
12 hours in a couple days. My God, what are you doing, Michael?
If you weren't able to get in, call on the marathon. Call on Saturday. We'll have designated times for call-ins. And, So we hit 105 likes, K-Pro. So what does that mean? You're the one that did this one, not me.
Hold on. What I want you to do is I need to do a quick check because I had a little guy just come in about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Do a World Series of Fenn, just dates, etc. And when I come back, we'll talk about the marathon, and maybe we're going to have one clip. You guys are awful people.
And what I'll do is I need a break too, so I'll play another clip that we've already shown in the past. But I'll talk about the World Series.
Just don't let it go too long because there's another.
It's a clip.
Okay.
It's a clip, meaning it's a clip.
What?
All right, World Series of Fenn, everybody. Go ahead.
I need 30 seconds, and then, yes, we will talk about the marathon. And now there's going to be more clips than
all kinds of clips, and you can shake a stick at. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back.
Here's what you guys need to know. This Saturday is the marathon. Thumbs up for Forrest Fenn Discussion Marathon. We're going 12 hours. We'll probably go longer than that. We're starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. We're going till probably midnight that night. We've got I don't know if K-Pro has the agenda is out. It's on Thor. It's in the Grand Adventure on Facebook, Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure. We hope you guys tune in, and we will see these clips for sure that we've been talking about. The other thing is the World Series of Fenn is this little annual get-together we're doing here in Las Vegas, Nevada. February 15th, which is that Saturday. We do a poker tournament. It's a lot of fun. Searchers get together and talk before and after. $65 is all it takes to buy into that poker tournament. The casino handles that. That's at Bally's, Las Vegas, hotel and casino here in Las Vegas. And, that's Valentine's Day weekend. Talk your spouse into coming out for a nice 3 or 4 day weekend. And the cool part is Monday is, I believe it's President's Day or MLK. It's one of those days. So it's a holiday for a lot of people. So do you want to take it away, K-Pro, or you want me to play the clip, a different clip?
Happening?
I'm going to take a break. Do you want me to play a different clip, or do you want to take it away?
No, let me chit chat with
All right,
everyone.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so we have the marathon coming up 11 o'clock Pacific time on Saturday. Because you guys, I don't think we've hit 100 likes. I didn't think there was a chance. We will be playing 4 brand new clips, never before seen ever, from either Forrest or Douglas. So we're excited. It'll be great. Mike and I will try to figure that out. So we have a whole bunch of people on. We have a clip. We have a short video that we show the agenda. There's some things that might move around a little bit. We're going to put that out again on Friday for any changes. We have some people trying to get off work, doing different things. So Craig, you're the stinker. So I will say, absolutely, right now, we will do those 4 clips. No more. It started at 1, and now it's gone to 4, and I don't know what you guys are doing to me. And so, no, we'll try to figure those out. Maybe we'll make that a fun thing for different guests. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. That's what we're going to work this week on. So here's how it works. From 11 a.m. Pacific time to 11 p.m. we have guests all along the way. They either have half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour, depending on their topic. If there's more than one, we have panels, we have everything all throughout the day. Mike and I have one segment, I think it's 45 minutes long, that we will take questions. That's super fun. We did that for over an hour tonight. And then we will have one short time, I think it's a half an hour, that we're going to be talking about Chaseopoly, and because a lot of people have asked about that, and the World Series of Fenn and those sorts of things. We always kind of earmark it somewhere or somewhere other, but there is going to be a little bit of time for that. Other than that, we have tons and tons of topics. It's going to be fun. And then we will do an after party over on Cowlazars channel, and that is where we're going to be doing the contest. We have a contest for all of the people that are going to be on. We will take a name out of a hat, and you get a Chaseopoly or one of the books or one of the maps. Those are the things that we sell. We will also do something for the room. So if you have any ideas, we tried to do a trivia challenge, and some people's internet was delayed over other people's. Maybe we could do a comment picker. I don't know what we'll do, but I would really like your ideas. So email me at kpro3@aol.com if you have some ideas of what to do for the room. People in the room. I don't want to have to track too much. Like an every hour. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
not important. I think the agenda is set for the marathon, but at the end we may have a free for all. So maybe you guys could come on then. We'll see.
Yeah, but not important. If you want to email me, maybe there's a panel we can try to get you on. I will say we have about half of the people that have never been on before, but every single minute is packed. Mike and I actually wanted between 2 and 2.5 hours throughout the day to do phone calls, etc. We have like 1 hour. We just don't. We wanted to get as many people on. We jam-packed people with other people that don't know each other. We're going to see how that goes. So we had more interest than we even. And I just told a couple people, can you wait till the next one? So just know, and they were fine with that. So just know, I can't believe it. You would think 12 hours of Forrest Fenn, how are you going to fill the time? We're having the opposite problem.
Yeah, right.
Be super nice to everybody. All super chats go to Mike and I to continue these sorts of things.
That's right.
But every guest that comes in, they can give their own channel. They can give their own information on their
PayPal
PayPal
link if they want to. Yeah.
And then we'll have prizes and things.
Patreon. Yeah.
And there may just be a surprise or two. And the only thing I know is I ain't telling Mike. Kind of like that.
Well, a little surprise.
Maybe.
All right. You got to tune in to see what it is, guys. You never know.
Mike has to tune in to see what it is, and it will be announced on his channel in the after hours, because the after hours is the wild and the crazy times. Okay.
All right.
So, what questions do you guys have? No, Nothing Burger is the documentary title. Grip, get a grip. It is called Beyond the Chase.
That's
because the clips
funny.
that we are saving are not related to the poem. They are not related to clues. They're related to all things that are beyond the chase. Because I don't think, I hope you guys agree. This hunt is not, there's a poem that have 9 clues and you go and find them. I think there's a lot more to it. Look at just what happened today. We have a chat that had 250 people in it. We had 4 questions from Jenny. We had a clip that was given out. We've had searchers pass away. We have had searchers unite that didn't even know the first searcher who passed and search for him. We have Forrest that spent money getting a helicopter and figuring that out. We have people who've come together. We have interviews. We had the Today Show where he gave out additional information. We have extra books. We have scrapbooks. We have this. We have that. We have Fenbury, we have Operation Jamie, you name it. Look at all these extra things that we have. So when you think of the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt and you're a Fenner, which if you're sitting in this room right now, you're probably a Fenner, you are beyond the chase. You are the social community that has been established. You are all of that. That's the beginning of what we're focusing on. And it's getting some legs right now, and it's taking a couple different directions than we initially thought. But the clips you're getting are the ones that we may or may not use, but we're probably not going to use. We're trying to keep those that we know we're going to use, you will not see. I will say I don't think that those are of particular interest to the searchers. This is not a documentary for searchers. This is a documentary for the masses to think about and be aware of, and what a different phenomena than any other hunt going on, in my opinion. Jack asked, do I speak Finnish? Oh, I have Fenn speak, but it's my interpretation of it. But I think he sees me coming. So anyway, there you go. There you have it. I went over the marathon. There's going to be 4 because you know what? We were
4
sitting
clips.
at like what? 30 likes, and then all I had to say is get to 100, and you were like, get to 50. I was like, get to 100. We're at 119.
120, I see, yeah.
I bet you a bunch of those switch over to negatives after, but good on you guys. We are a community. We band together, so we're Mike. We need to talk about clips and see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that'll be Thursday. No show Thursday, guys, because we are doing the marathon on Monday, so we'll get the clips figured out.
We're doing the marathon on Saturday.
Saturday, what I say? Yeah, no show Thursday.
Monday. And there's not going to be a
I'm
show
tired.
that following Monday. Mike and I are going to take a breather. We're actually going to re-strategize some things that we're doing, and then we'll kick back off on Thursday. So Thursday and Monday show are kind of going to get encapsulated.
Right.
And I will tell you, 100% at the 11-hour and 45-minute mark, we are cutting off the stream. Our first marathon went too long. We lost part of it because of it. YouTube has a strict policy. I don't know why they think some people don't want to be on more than 12 hours, but they cut the stream off at 12 hours, and then we lose huge chunks of it. So we will be cutting off. We may come back on, do an after party, whatever. Anyway, that is our story. We're sticking to it. We did phone calls. We did so much tonight. Mike.
I know, 2.5 hours. All right, everybody. I will remind everybody, Chaseopoly's still for sale. Anything you want to say before we go, K-Pro?
No, and so those of you that are thinking that I don't have hot tea in here with some honey and lemon, it's pneumonia. It's going to take a while. You're going to hear me for a while. I can drop off for a month, or we can make it. You guys can hear me.
All right.
He's booting me.
Yeah, this is the playoff music.
Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. several times in just one day. Chase softly, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase. Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase.
The Chaseopoly website will be up soon, Rudy Green. I'm working on it. All right, everybody. We'll see you Saturday, 11 p.m. Pacific on the Hint of Riches channel. Thanks to everybody who hit a thumbs up. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the people who called in. And thank all of you who stuck with us for 2.5 hours and watched. We'll see you on Saturday.
It flies by. You guys are great.